Afternoon and welcome everybody. This would be the Jeff Cameron Show right here on 97 ESPN Radio. Fine Lawn Maintenance Tuesday to you and yours. I'm Jeff. That's Tom. We're online, ESPNTallahassee.com. That's where you go to listen live via the streaming free always. If you miss anything, go get caught up at your leisure. All 3 hours going to be posted, both to iTunes and in our own audio vault upon the conclusion of the program. You can always email us too. Keep them coming. Appreciate it. JCS at 979 ESPNradio.com. On YouTube, it's ESPN Tallahassee. You'll be able to watch the show. Hello, YouTubers, per usual. Periscopers, how are you? You're on Twitter, too, at 979 ESPN Radio, you Periscopers. WTSM app, good for mobile devices if you're traveling about. I met a guy last night, Tom, at my son's baseball game who was going to be in Arkansas today for business. He wasn't happy about it. But he was comforted by his WTSM app.
Well, that's good.
Actually came up to me and said that.
It's what it's there for, man.
You're damn right it is. If you're in the middle of nowhere, Arkansas, thinking, man, this sucks, I'm in Arkansas. You go, oh, the creature comfort that is the WTSM app will get me through this trip to Arkansas. I'll do my business and get the hell out of here. Leave these folks to their own devices. Get back to the safety of Tallahassee, Florida. Yeah, no, that's fine. I don't know why I'm describing all of Arkansas as if it's a place where creatures lurk waiting to do harm.
Yeah, didn't we just learn last week or the week before that actually it's not a bad place to go?
Well, we learned that Fayetteville might be a pearl in Arkansas, but I don't think that speaks to the rest of Arkansas. I don't think that everybody else is like clamoring to defend all of Arkansas. Just perhaps Fayetteville was what we learned. We learned that their coaches are frustrated because kids have a certain perception of Arkansas and they can't get people to go there. And yeah, that's the problem when you're trying to win in the SEC.
Guys, it's the Austin of Arkansas.
You wouldn't believe it. We've got bridges and rivers and music and coffee. It's a wondrous place, Fayetteville.
Tolerance.
Yeah, it's not what you think of Arkansas. Yeah, no, yeah, right. We'll see. Florida State, Virginia. It's on right now. Now, maybe you say to yourself, well, I'm listening to the Jeff Cameron Show. I'm not worried about listening to the Florida State baseball game. And I say thank you for that. I appreciate it. But I understand the other, too. And I don't have a problem with that either. But if you must know what I will do for those of you who made the decision to be right here, I'll update you. I'll do this. It's update time for that ass. Nothing. Game just started.
Little PSA if you want to do the old video feed of the game and then the audio feed of this here show.
Yeah.
It's blacked out in Tallahassee on Watch ESPN. However,
why would it be blacked out? We can't be there. This game's not being played here.
Because it's available on television, Fox Sports Sun. But
okay, well that's good to know.
It's Fox Sports Sun if you have a television in the office.
Yeah.
But if you don't and you get, rebuffed by Watch ESPN, have no fear. Go to Fox Sports Go. And you can get in that way by logging in through your cable provider. So, boom.
Lots of things going on there.
There it is. It's on Fox Sports Sun television, foxsportsgo.com in Tallahassee. Use your cable provider login, and you're good to go.
So if you have Xfinity, you just type it on in, and you got what you'd have at the house.
That's correct.
That's what you do right there?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Tom, we're telling the people what time it is, how to find these games.
Then just put it on mute and listen to us.
That's how I would do it. If I were at the house, I'd say, Cameron Show's on. Clip. Click that. That's not the sound anything makes when you turn it on. But there you go. I would do that, and then I'd have me on, and I'd go, okay, well, this will be good. Whatever these jibber-jabbers got to say today, I'll be listening. I'm sure they'll stumble into something halfway decent.
Hey, Alexa, sing me a song.
Somebody's like, no, stop that, Tom. Alexa, turn the Jeff Cameron Show on to 10. Volume 10.
You can make her, yeah.
Yeah, I don't have Alexa.
Hey, Google, turn up the volume.
Alexa, scream. We did this before, and it actually worked.
It did, yeah. Gene Williams was pissed.
Yeah, he was angry. He's like, stop that. Stop doing that. Alexa, play the latest Slayer record. Loudly. That's good. Florida State's facing a team in Virginia today whom they should beat, but it's baseball, so you never know. Also, the kid pitching for Virginia today hasn't thrown in a month, or he hasn't started in a month anyhow. So knock on wood, we'll see what happens. All right, the basketball last night, turns out that's a weird game. And, Hey, should I note that Big Daddy's on a roll here? I mentioned yesterday on the program that perhaps you should take Berrios and bet the Twins on the money line. Just saying. Just mentioned it late in the show. Sometimes you get nuggets like that from Big Daddy on the way out.
Hot damn, Big Daddy's done it again.
Berrios is good for starters, and that just felt like an easy pickings.
So I saw some numbers on Baseball Reference today. Just happened to be on Twitter. And in his 10 outings, he has 9 decisions, right? So that's unusual for a starting pitcher at this day and age.
Yeah.
In his 5 wins, he's got a 1.69 ERA. In his 4 losses, because he's 5-4, it's over 10. So he's either great or terrible.
And I usually have a feel for when great's coming.
Yeah.
I really do. Well, he's got swing and miss stuff. Hey, by the way, this is frustrating just from the standpoint that we could have had something better. Now, it did end up being a single-digit game for once in the conference finals, but it was a backup single-digit. I mean, it was a layup with 4 seconds to play that cut it to 9. Yeah, that's why you went ahead and crashed through that door. But yeah, so 9, right? But here's what I'll tell you. If you're a Boston fan today, you're really frustrated, and nobody wants to hear it because they're happy it's 2-2, and maybe at the end it doesn't look all that close. But the truth is this. The first quarter killed Boston. They're down 16 points. Do you realize, Tom, that Cleveland gets out to that start where they're up 16, I think at one point up to 18. Anyhow, the point would be this. Boston won the second, third, and fourth quarters. So if they don't get off to the start that they did, which you would have thought would have been, they would have been time is of the essence here. We got to get off to a good start.
Yeah.
They don't. They come down, they're jacking dumb shots. Rozier taking stupid shots, can't get anything to fall early. Look at the stats the rest of the game. Boston was better than Cleveland. But it doesn't matter when you're down 18. And so, they end up losing that game, and thus it's 2-2. But easy money taking Boston at the Garden when they go back and win that game, go up 3-2. They're undefeated at home in these playoffs. They're 1-6 on the road. So this is pretty easy to play out. Boston will win when they go back home. They will lose when they go back to Cleveland. And Game 7 will be a war. It'll be LeBron's last stand, and we'll see if Boston has enough to remain undefeated at home in the postseason and yank the rug out from under Cleveland's dreams. Or will LeBron, by force of will, find his way back into the finals to get swept by Golden State?
And then the playoffs are over.
That's right. For whoever comes out of the East,
right.
It's your done deal.
And we don't need to watch the finals at all. They should put Game 7 Boston-Cleveland on ABC and then move everything else to, the deuce.
I got a buddy of mine a mutual friend of ours, who says he wants to watch the NBA because he's always amazed at the level of athleticism and how – and, yeah, we've talked about it before. I mean, you don't see athletes like LeBron James all that often, or Kevin Durant or people like that,
You
right?
can pick any highlight of LeBron's, and
crazy.
It's just mesmerizing.
It is. To be that big and all those things, right? So this friend, I think – perfectly encapsulates exactly the frustrations of those that just can't find a way into the NBA with any consistency. When they sit down to watch and they want to watch, it's the playoffs. What else are we doing this time of year, right in between baseball games? We're watching the NHL and the NBA playoffs, right? I got you. If you're niche, you're into, obviously, postseason college baseball, whatever it is, but you'd like to have something to latch on to because you're a sports guy or a sports gal. You care about these things. You like competition. And the problem is 59 free throws in last night's game. That third quarter was unwatchable. It's just fouls on every possession. I can't remember. I stopped counting, but at one point, literally, I think we had 9 straight possessions where a foul was called and put somebody to the free throw line. I mean, you got to stop this.
Yeah, that happens
this.
In college basketball all the time. You'll see an official decide or a group of officials decide in a half that this is going to be our half. And the next thing you know, everybody's in the double bonus, and there's 8 minutes to go.
Let me ask you a question. Would you rather have – I'm this way. I don't know if this is just constantly when as a kid playing pickup anything, pick up football, pick up basketball, pick up anything, right? We would just all gather in the neighborhood and play, or we'd go down to the park and we'd play. And the rule of thumb when you're playing pickup basketball – whether you're playing 21 with a buddy or a group of guys, or you're playing, 5-on-5 and you're running in the gym, whatever you're doing, basically the rule of thumb is you don't call foul unless it's egregious, unless, somebody comes across your arms, somebody takes your legs, somebody does something that is painfully obvious to anybody watching and playing with you that that's a foul. And you'll call ball. You just say ball. And nobody makes a big deal of it. Every now and then somebody like, you're going to call ball on that? And then you check. We take the ball out, check, here we go. Rarely, every now and then it would come to blows if somebody, A, hard foul, B, refused to admit when they are fouling to the degree with which you've earned ball, right? If somebody would say, that's not a foul, bitch, what are we doing here? You get into these But the point of that is this. Nobody wants to deal with ticky-tack. Nobody wants to deal with on the margins. Nobody wants to deal with it's a physical game. That's just the way it is. And you're not if you come into the lane, you're going to get bodied. It's going to happen. I'm not going to let you lay it in. I'm not going to let you dunk it. Hand checks, nobody cared about that. You slap a hand off. Let's go. Let's play. So I'd rather watch games that are ultra physical, not to the extent that it ruins the flow or athleticism like we had during the Bad Boys era, where it was goon ball, where you could just absolutely destroy people, and you did take away from the level of athleticism that these guys possess. But something closer to that than this is what I want to see. I don't need a foul called. I don't need you to call letter of the law nonsense all the time. These are big, strong, athletic guys. It's going to happen that they're going to connect. Their bodies are going to hit. It's what's going to go on. You can't call this all the time. You got to let people play the game.
I agree, but I think for players like Shaq and LeBron over the years,
they got beat to hell.
Yeah. Less is called because it doesn't affect them. It doesn't affect their trajectory.
Well, and also because you'd call a foul on every play because they're just so strong, so big, you can't keep them out of the lane. And so if you didn't let guys do that, they'd have 100 points.
In a way, though, that's an advantage that they're not getting because they're just that much bigger.
Yeah, I guess. I know this. You can find a way to officiate the game to where we don't have 59 free throws or we're not sitting there watching a free throw contest because that, too, bastardizes the game. You don't need that. You don't want to see something like that. It's very frustrating to me. By the way, so it's not lost on me, obviously, that now the nerves have probably hit you pretty hardcore as we get set for Game 7.
Yeah, just a
I
little
felt
bit.
like Washington would win that game last night, but here's what's frustrating is there we were with a chance. It's nothing forever, and we all know how important the first goal in these playoffs are. They just are in the NHL when you get to this point. And you got to give Washington credit, I guess. There were 2 penalties. They only went into the box, 2 times? They took 2 penalties the whole game?
Yes.
Well, obviously they have to stay out of the box because Tampa Bay is going to score in the power play. That's just what they've done throughout the playoffs, and obviously the message got home. But also, if they're not going to call what we saw last night, then they're not going to go to the box. And if that's the way it's going to be, then Game 7 is going to have to be a bloodbath.
Correct. There's a lot not to like about Tampa's chances. Home helps. I know what the playoffs this year have said about that, but I agree that Game 7's it does matter, especially if you take the lead.
Well, if you take the lead, it does.
Well, also, but I think it's lesser than the NBA that you just mentioned. But I do think a 50-50 call in your home building goes your way. If it's a non-call for your team, or they commit something that's close, it looks worse than it is. I think the referee's hand goes up and you get a 2-minute power play more times than you don't if you're on the road for a Game 7. So I think there's a small advantage there. And for how good these power plays are, that could mean a lot. But this is following the form, even though Game 7 is in Tampa and not on the road. This is following the form of 2 years ago in which Tampa gets to Game 7, has not been the better team on the ice for the balance of the 6 games, and justice is served.
But
we deserve to lose in 2016, and dare I say we deserve to lose this series despite the fact that we are potentially a better team. But that makes it all the worse.
Well, let me say this. I think we're in agreement to some degree. I think emotionally you get caught up in that a little bit. Washington, in the first 2 games, it's obvious. I'm not going to argue with you. I think from there it's been a 50-50 affair, and we've just won more than we've lost. I don't know that I would assume Pittsburgh was better than we were. They
Correct.
were, and we knew that. Washington's not better, and they haven't always played better than us in this series. They probably deserve to be the team last night going into that game up 3-2 and not down 2-3.
The series should be over if not for Vasilevsky and Game 4.
But that counts, man, and we've had people do that to us, and we've watched teams win cups. That matters. Fleury's doing that. This is what happens. People stand on their head, and if you're lucky enough to have that guy, and we made a calculated decision, we had a goalie, shipped his ass out because we thought that guy was going to be this good.
Right. But that doesn't make you the better team in the flow of the game.
No, but it doesn't. But I don't discount that matters greatly, and he's outperformed.
Mm-hmm.
And I would also say that after the first two games, again, I think it's been like this. I believe last night if we don't hit the post there and score, that who knows what happens in that third
Probably,
period.
but that second period is so egregiously in Washington's favor.
Yeah,
the first was even. The first was even.
I thought the first was even too.
You get to the second, and Washington decides to ratchet it up a little bit. We don't have anything for it in our tank.
But they're playing desperate because they get eliminated if they lose last night. So that stands to reason.
Of course, but when you have a coaching staff and leadership before Game 6 speak to the media and say the very thing about this is going to be the most desperate they are, we have to match it and end it tonight. If you're going to push that button about we must end it tonight, not let this get to 7, and then your first comments in the postgame are they were much more desperate, we didn't show up tonight.
Yeah, that
dumb. Is an indictment of the leadership on the team, both from the player's perspective and the coach's perspective.
Well, I think it's a mistake for any coach to press that button knowing that is an emotional lever. It's not something you can just say and then cause to happen. It doesn't work that way. My desperation is going to be my desperation, and you can't match it because I'm desperate and you're not. You don't go home if you lose. I do. There's nothing I can say to you to change that. You're going to feel that from me if I've got any heart at all. And I don't know why he would bring that up because that's the elephant in the room. Everybody knows, it's going to be tough to beat them given that they're up against it, and this is it. So I wish he hadn't done that. I don't know that I would say the team is leaderless, though. I do think they look worn down. I do think, and they got beat up a little last night.
They did. No, I just, if this was the first time you, if this was the first time this,
you're mad at him from last year still, though.
I'm mad at him from last year, the first half of the season. I'm mad at him from 2016 when they had a chance in Game 6 against Pittsburgh. I'm mad at him for Game 1 against the Blackhawks in 2015 that we saw together where you're up 1-0 and you completely turtle as though you had a 2 or a 3-goal lead.
It was weird.
If this was the first time that this had occurred, which is what I was trying to say earlier, then, okay, it's a new animal. And you go, well, that's kind of an odd night. All right, let's go get him in Game 7. But since it's been a regular occurrence in the last 3 or 4 years with the same coach, same captain, leadership structure, I think if you're the general manager at this point, you're saying, my window's finally starting to close. And yet we still have clunkers in the biggest moments. I got no problem with a team that gets outplayed and outworked if you show me that team for the balance of 60 minutes was playing its guts out, if it was desperate. But in this case, that's not true. The first thing the players and the coaches come and tell you is we weren't locked in enough. We didn't show up tonight.
Yeah, but I don't know why guys do that because I don't think they played soft. They got beat up a little bit. Washington took it to them, but they should. They're at home desperate or else they're eliminated. So we kind of figured that would happen. But you're outplayed in the second period. But like you said, from the jump, it's even in the first. We didn't come out slow. We didn't come out looking like a team that didn't want to be there or was just assuming a defeat. They came out ready to play.
They did.
I just don't know why. Guys always try to find a reason why, and they'll say things like, well, we just weren't ready. I doubt that. I think they were ready. There were games earlier this series, games 1 and 2.
Right.
Where what the hell are we doing here?
Well, but that's the thing. Okay, so you have game 1 and 2, and now your margin for error is nil. You build yourself back a little bit of margin for error, and then in the second period of this game, which is where it all changed. Yeah. Not just the goal that Washington scored, but it all changed. They outchance you 3 or 4 to 1. Mm-hmm. They spend the entire period in your zone. You're making little stupid plays, casual plays, not the same type of strategy we've seen in the last 3 or 4 games.
Yeah.
All of these things tell you that when Washington decided to bring it to another level, you weren't emotionally ready to go there.
Let's have fun with this. We'll curse ourselves later in the show, but you and I are going to do a bold endeavor. We'll have a little fun with it and make a little side wager on what happens in Game 7 tomorrow night. By the way, should get back to football. Let's do that right now because some lines came out for Week 1 in college football. And I know people were going to roll their eyes if I would have brought up the pros here with win totals, but I'm going to give you some college football lines. One in particular, obviously, that involves Florida State. Now, the lines have changed since they came out. And you may not be a gambler, and you may not care nearly as much about betting as quite clearly I do. But they do reveal certain things, attitudes and beliefs of the sharps and of those that are paid to do this out in Vegas. And they'll reflect oftentimes not only what those guys are thinking about a certain team's chances, but also then what the public does and what they think. And I find all of that infinitely fascinating. In particular, we're in the summer. I know we have an update. It's update time for that ass. T. Lizzie, give me that update time for that ass. What's going on?
All right, so we're in the middle of the second inning. 2 quick innings for Van Eyck. And then in the bottom of the first, a 2-out, RBI double for Cal Raleigh.
Cal continues to play really well.
Brett Applin scores from first on the play, goes off the big blue monster in left field. So Cal is off to a good start in the ACC tournament.
Knowles won, Virginia nothing early in the ACC tournament. That's good news indeed. We'll continue with the updates throughout the program. Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men on a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
Landowners, your Mahindra dealer is ready to help you save during Mahindra's Red Tag Sale. Enjoy up to $7,900 in tractor cash back and savings, or utility vehicle savings up to $1,700. Plus, Mahindra's industry-leading warranties still come standard. So hurry in for Mahindra's Red Tag Savings.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Blountstown Highway, 574-4100.
And registration, head to 211bigbend.org/run211.
Widden Glass takes care of Tallahassee business. Local contractors know Widden Glass has been taking care of business since 1945. They prefer Widden Glass because of their precise window glass replacement, masterful shower enclosures, and storefront glass. Widden Glass will take care of you to your complete satisfaction. That's been Widden's way of doing business for over 70 years. When you call Widden Glass, you're dealing with experienced, reliable professionals who offer only the best. Like Widden's top-of-the-line bath enclosures that provide style and luxury at an affordable price. Eye-catching storefronts are a specialty at Widden Glass. We'll help you design it and install it. We've done hundreds of storefronts in the Tallahassee area. That's why Widden is known for taking care of business. Widden Glass, the first name in glass replacement. Call 222-5781.
Have you ever noticed when you report an accident or a claim to an insurance company, they are very eager to get you to one of their approved body shops. They say that they guarantee the shops work, but what they're really saying is the shop works for them, not the customer. So choose a shop that is working for and looking out for you, someone you trust. It's your choice. Lisa's Paint and Body.
License number MP46050.
An eager young FSU marketing major came into Poor Paul's the other day and told me what a genius he thought I was for having such great specials, like the free ladies' drinks on Tuesday nights, the free Gumby's pizza and $4.95 pitchers on Sunday and Monday night, and the cheapest prices in town every other night. And not to mention, all the free beer people wouldn't spin in the Wheel of Fortune. He asked me if I'd studied marketing, and I told him I had, but what I didn't tell the poor guy was that in 4 years, I didn't learn a damn thing in any of my classes. Most of my business philosophy came from observing a girl named Bunny, who lived across from me and was, let's say, working her way through school. You see, Bunny had a great service, sold it at rock-bottom prices with a smile, and had hundreds of happy customers. And aside from that little red light in her window, all her advertising was simply word of mouth. So I didn't see the need for all those charts and graphs and formulas. I knew all I needed to be successful were the Bunny marketing methods. Sell really good stuff, cheap with a smile. And that's why, just like at Bunny's, there's always a big crowd at Poor Paul's wanting to spend their money. And that's why that poor kid thought I was so smart. Who's your buddy?
See, very intrigued by the Dan Le Batard Show on ESPN Radio.
Has anyone ever said the word peppers better than Mel Kiper?
Peppers
Has anyone in the history of the word peppers ever said it better than Mel Kiper Jr.?
Peppers.
Mel Kiper Jr. doesn't say it as well as Mike's fake Mel Kiper Jr. says it.
Peppers. 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 You talk about a peppers. Peppers.
I think people are right. Like, who would say it better? Who would you even nominate?
Peppers. Oh, wow.
Oh, wait a minute. Chris summoned some fake Stephen A. Smith, and he got it from his groin.
Peppers. Wow.
Wow, it's pretty good.
Peppers.
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 The Dan Le Batard Show, weekdays at 10 a.m. on 97.9 ESPN Radio. This is the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Well, it doesn't look good for Josh Ball, Florida State offensive lineman. I'll get to those numbers in a second. I know I teased them, so don't worry. I'll get to them. And believe me, it's not like me to forget about talking about spreads and numbers. Point spreads, Tom Lang. Get your mind out of the gutter. Florida State offensive lineman Josh Ball, who started the last 9 games of his redshirt freshman season, has been suspended from FSU following a ruling by a university judicial panel. He is, of course, was expected to start in 2018. Now, I don't know what to do with this because, again, this is not a legal matter, as he was not charged. Well, I mean, it is and it isn't. He has not been charged by the Tallahassee Police or the state attorney's office following the initial complaints from his girlfriend, who alleged that, amongst other things, she needed protection against him because of numerous actions in which she alleges that Ball physically attacked her. And there are lots of descriptions from her about what happened there. He was not charged with a crime for those accusations. The university, the student panel, is the one that has derived what they did from those accusations and come to the conclusion that he should be suspended. Now, I don't know. I may have this wrong, Tom. I'm double-checking on some of these things. It would appear, at least for now, that he is out for the season. I don't mean to be callous. I want to be careful here. I don't know what did or did not happen here. I'm strictly speaking on a sports talk radio show about how it affects the team, all the while understanding that there are things far more important than his absence to the football team and obviously society as a whole. I got all of that. So save your emails. I got you. And I'm not being dismissive. I don't know what happened there. I don't have a police report I don't have an arrest to look at there. So I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to speculate on what did or did not happen, what is real and what is not real. What we do know, though, for now, is that if that's the case, I don't think he can apply to get back into FSU until the fall of 2019, at which point, peace.
I saw spring, and this was, again, posted on this young lady's social media account, a declaration that she will not have to see Ball play, this fall.
Yeah.
And then something about, in the attached document, probation in the spring of 19.
Yeah, I don't think he's even eligible to be back as a student for well past the season.
Okay.
Again, sensitive to the idea that, look, football's not all that matters. I got it. And if he did these things, then it stands to reason, obviously, we want him out of here and whatever comes his way in the way of negative, then that's fine. But I just in terms of how it affects, I think we're all adults here. We can have this conversation. As how it affects this team, you just lost a starting tackle. Again, this is an area of grave concern going into the season for me, as I have stated repeatedly, that if you think this season is going to be derailed by a couple of things in terms of winning 10 games potentially or something like that, you are citing a couple of things, and one of them would be offensive line. This further exacerbates that situation. I believe this is going to be part and parcel to a larger problem in terms of depth and talent for the offensive line throughout the course of this season. And it's why they're going to lose a game that right now in the minds of many FSU fans, we think we're going to win. I think that offensive line will cost them a game. Another one beyond just the difficulties of the schedule alone, like a game against Clemson where you're not the better team. But the other side of the ball is we're all concerned, of course, with linebacker play. But they couldn't afford this. Again, there are more important things. They got to get it right, justice system, all that. This is bad news, man. They're just not good at the position, and you lost a starter just now. If that holds and he's gone, you've just lost a starter. I think, again, you're able to mitigate some of those concerns because of the style of play. I think Florida State is, whenever we use the phrase in a given year, go back to 2009, I think it was, or 2008, whatever it was, when we realized the only chance you had was to outscore people is the phrase that you use. Get ready for that this year. I understand what our secondary is. I think we're going to have to score and score fast and spread people out and throw the football a ton. And I think that given some of our concerns here, I would guess that if you're going to win some of those games against the best teams on your schedule, they're going to be some pretty high-scoring games.
Well, it makes me wonder what you want to do with a ball control strategy. How much you want to slow down the tempo in certain points. I think it'll be faster than Jimbo, but is it going to be a middle ground tempo because you got to keep your defense fresh? And this was the thing when Willie took over. I thought first and foremost, the defense was going to be the key to success this season. How good could they be and how soon? Because you have more athletes there at each level than you do on offense. There are some glaring weaknesses on offense that Willie's got to overcome. On defense, however, there's really, Coach Barnett has a lot to work with in the interior of the defensive line.
He doesn't at linebacker, though. He's got a guy that I think can really play, and then
you only need one other body, though. You're not going to put three out there all that often.
That's true. Yeah, you're right. And you've got talent to play the star.
Bring Hobbs up close to the line of scrimmage, or would be, or whatever it is.
It'll be interesting. It will be. It's just going to be a kind of a bit of a mess on the offense. Look, you're going to get good play, decent to good play at quarterback. I think our receivers are finally going to be freed up to make plays, and we've got enough talent there. Feel pretty good about that.
Well, the fun thing is, who knows, if you have a freak of a freshman, he's going to find the field.
Right.
A lot of F's in there, but yeah.
Yeah, no. It's curious. This can't help.
No, this does not help.
Especially when you play a Clemson team with that defensive line. And it's not like I thought in my mind we were going to win that game anyhow. So I'd just say that I'm trying to, in the offseason, as we all do, as lines came out, by the way, Florida State favored over Virginia Tech. What's a reasonable expectation? We keep trying to get our arms around that in year one for Willie Taggart. What do we think is a reasonable expectation? And I would say that 8-4, 9-3 seems to be a reasonable expectation. Worse than that is a disappointing season. Much better than that is a surprise. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, but it all hinges on winning that first game because that moves the number, doesn't it? It moves the target a little bit. If you win that game, you have some room for error. If you don't,
yes, I agree with that. I think so.
Yeah, then you got to capitalize on all the other opportunities you have other than the big games you play.
And I'll tell you why, but Vegas thinks we're going to win that football game. Amongst others, look around the country. A lot of games to talk about. We'll do so momentarily. Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
Landowners, your Mahindra dealer is ready to help you save during Mahindra's Red Tag Sale. Enjoy up to $7,900 in tractor cash back and savings. or utility vehicle savings up to $1,700. Plus, Mahindra's industry-leading warranties still come standard. So hurry in for Mahindra's Red Tag Savings.
TNT. When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
Value for your dollar. With more standard features, our exclusive and the original lifetime warranty, our Easy Choice menu that gives you a price and payment in writing, our new For You program that helps people with damaged credit, and now, to the end of the month, 2 years or 20,000 miles of complimentary maintenance with every new car purchase, plus $1,000 over book value for your trade. Best of all, my people are the best in the business. They will greet you with a smile and a handshake, and they will know your time is valuable. My managers are always accessible, and of course, you can always ask for me or my brother Peter. Bottom line, if you need a new or pre-owned car, you need to experience the Craft difference. Great people, great product, great price, with the best car buying experience in town. Craft Nissan on Mahan Drive between Academy Sports and Costco. And remember, if you don't see the Craft tag on your car, you paid too much, way too much.
Hi, honey. How was your day?
It was fine. Pretty uneventful. How about you?
Well, I called the auditors this afternoon and made an appointment for one to come out to the house.
Wait, what? Have you lost your mind? Auditors? Why would you call them? Now we have to find our tax returns, paycheck stubs, and financial records, not to mention all those forms. Good grief.
Relax, honey. It's not that kind of auditor.
It's not?
No. I called the City of Tallahassee Utilities and scheduled a free energy audit.
Energy audit?
Right. It's when an energy auditor from our own utilities comes out to the house, examines the structure, and checks our energy and water systems, and then recommends changes we might make to save energy, water, and money.
And you said it's free?
Absolutely. It's free from the City of Tallahassee Utilities, our own utilities.
Sounds good to me. Let's save some money.
If you're a City of Tallahassee residential, electric, and natural gas customer, you can schedule a free energy audit. Call 891-4YOU. That's 891-4968. And schedule your free energy audit at a time most convenient for you. A message from the City of Tallahassee Utilities, your own utilities.
This Day in Sports, brought to you by Superlube, 19 Tallahassee area locations. Quick, convenient, no appointment necessary. Get your history lesson weekdays at 5:30 during the Jeff Cameron Show, right here on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Wahoo Seafood Grill, Tallahassee's leader in fresh seafood, is located right behind the Best Western on North Monroe. Lunch specials start at $7.99. Be sure to try their award-winning house-made burger. Big lunch parties are also welcome. Wahoo Seafood Grill makes lunch specials a very affordable choice. Delivery is available and plenty of parking. Wahoo Seafood Grill, easy access from any part of town using I-10. Visit them online at wahooseafoodgrill.com or call them today at 850-629-4059. Fonville Lewis Messer McConaughey sponsors Braves baseball so that all of you can enjoy the action. Ever since the days of Hank Aaron and Dale Murphy, we've been Tallahassee's home run hitting law firm. And because we don't get paid unless we win, we want to win every case as much as Chipper Jones wanted to win every game. So when you're injured, don't just trust any law firm to handle your case. Make the call to the bullpen for a trusted closer. To see our stats on the back of our baseball card, visit wrongfullyinjured.com. Fonville Lewis Messer McConaughey. Personal injury law is all we do.
Shot saved. Rebound score!
The playoffs are here. The Corner Pocket is your home all spring long for all the heart-pounding moments in the NBA and Stanley Cup playoffs.
It's held in a shot saved. Rebound
The Corner Pocket on Appalachia Parkway next to Earth Fair is your headquarters for Trivia Tuesdays, Beer Bingo Thursdays, and of course, all the moments you'll never forget.
For the championship!
The Corner Pocket Bar and Grill, 2475 Appalachia Parkway. Tallahassee loves the Corner Pocket.
ESPN Radio Sports Center.
I'm Christine Lisi. Right now, 2 days after their most lopsided loss in playoff history, the Rockets seek to bounce back against the Warriors in Game 4 of the NBA's Western Conference Finals. Even though his Houston team is down 2-1, Coach Mike D'Antoni has said the pressure tonight is squarely on Golden State. That's actually not the case, says ESPN's Chauncey Billups.
Pressure's definitely on the Rockets. I think that's Coach D'Antoni. He's kind of coaching through the media. He's coaching through TV just to try to take the pressure off of his guys internally. But we all know that if this team goes down 3-1, this series will be over quick. And I think they know that, too, and they'll probably play with that kind of urgency tonight.
Chauncey Billups on Golic and Wingo. Warriors forward Andre Iguodala, a key defender, doubtful with a bruised left knee. Game 4 coverage, 8 Eastern, ESPN Radio and the ESPN app. Milwaukee Mayor Tom Barrett's worried about public backlash over police conduct when a video that shows officers using a stun gun on Bucks rookie Sterling Brown without provocation becomes public tomorrow. Sources who've seen the body camera footage told the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel Brown was not at all combative before officers used the stun gun. The officers involved in the January 26th incident are the subject of an internal investigation. Brown wasn't charged following his arrest for resisting or obstructing an officer. He plans to file a civil lawsuit against the Milwaukee Police Department. NFL at Steelers OTAs today. Quarterback Ben Roethlisberger was seen giving tips to rookie Mason Rudolph after he overthrew fullback Roosevelt Nix. Roethlisberger also wanted to clarify his previous comments when he said he didn't plan to help out Rudolph. He said he didn't intend his words to be mean and that they were said in jest. Roethlisberger added that his first impression of Rudolph is that he's got a big arm and seems to understand the offense.
Live from the AmeriGas Propane Studios in the capital city of Tallahassee, this is the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Reverend Horton Heat about blew my ears. Wasn't ready, Tom. Still 1-0? Or do we have an update time for that?
I mean, you could do a semi-update time if you want to.
Well, we don't need to force the issue. If there's an update, there's an update. If there isn't, there isn't. It's update time for that ass. Well, I guess there is, by all means.
CJ's in trouble here in the third inning. Runners on first and third, nobody out. 1-0 Florida State.
Ain't nothing. A little double play ball can't help Tom Lang.
Looked like he had a mental letdown after a really good at-bat. He got ahead 0-2, and the left fielder Richardson for Virginia spoiled about 3 or 4 pitches. And
he served one up.
Served one in the right center for a single, and then it's first to third on another single. So there you go.
I got you. All right, well, we'll closely monitor there. Florida State obviously needs to win that game against Virginia. Can't be fooling around, dilly-dallying, messing around with Virginia, who's not all that good. All right, so I find this fascinating. I had it wrong earlier. Tom, I was looking at this wrong. You and I were talking off the air. I had it all wrong. The biggest line move yesterday as lines began to trickle out. By the way, for people who don't know, there are limits on these off-season bets and things where people think, well, oh, God, I see that the odds makers made a mistake. I'm going to go bet. You can't go bet $50,000. You can't go do things like that. You can't. This is going to continue, and I just am a dumbass for not having put that there. There we go. Anyhow, you can't just say, walk up to the window, hey, I want $150,000 on the over. I mean, they don't for Tennessee. I mean, a lot of these places say, well, it's a $1,000 limit, sir. We're not doing all this right now. The lines will adjust, and we'll take more wagers as we get close to football season.
Why does your shirt say Coach and have the Tennessee logo?
Right. But what I didn't realize as some of those, the South Point came out with lines, and what I use it for this time of year is just to see what people think of these teams, what the sharps think, and then also what those that come in there to make those lines move, what they think. And the biggest line move happened between Notre Dame and Michigan, and that rivalry, which is going to resume on September the 1st at Notre Dame. That game's being played at Notre Dame. Saw the Fighting Irish open as big favorites is what happened initially. I had it wrong. I had it reversed. I thought Michigan opened as a big favorite, and that would have been a terrible mistake. But what is interesting is that the line started with Notre Dame by a touchdown, and then all the Michigan people came in and bet it down to under 4, depending on where you look. And this gets back to a Harbaugh situation that we keep bringing up. Jim Harbaugh has been a good coach at Stanford a really good coach with the San Francisco 49ers. It's not as if we think he can't coach, right? But for whatever reason, that same success has, early in his career, going into season 4 now at Michigan, eluded him. He isn't winning big games. He isn't beating teams that are any good, period. His record against winning teams is awful. In fact, I'll pull that up momentarily, but I think it's worse than you realize. He doesn't beat anybody if they're any good at all. He just doesn't. And he certainly doesn't win the Big Ten. And you don't bring that guy there and give him over $7 million a year to be, average, which is what they've been.
Hey, 8-4, 9-3. Here's your $7 million.
Or 5 losses, or they're not very good. So I think what's fascinating with that is, to me, they went 8-5 last year. Michigan did 8-5. He had the 2 10-3 seasons, and then a 5-loss season. And it got me thinking about the way we talked about Jimbo here the last few seasons, right? 3-loss, then 6-loss.
We're like the Turks, Hey,
yeah.
Get a little out of line here. We're done.
We're done.
We're done.
We will come in here and shut that thing down.
Mm-hmm.
So Harbaugh went 3-loss, 5-loss. I'm just saying, 2 fingers to my eyes, 2 fingers back to you. But the best part about that is Michigan people, of which they are bountiful, because Michigan's been playing football forever, and they have a huge alumni base. They go all in and alter lines all the time for Michigan, man. They go, oh, no, Big Blue. And no, man. That guy's not winning games that matter right now. He's got to turn that around, but maybe he's got his quarterback in the form of Shea Patterson, right? Got the transfer.
And,
maybe you got the quarterback.
It's not like Notre Dame did everything it could have with 2 top 12 offensive linemen and a really good defense last year, and they lost a lot. So maybe Notre Dame is vulnerable in week 1. But it is in South Bend.
It's in South Bend, and you're going to take Notre Dame. You're just not going to give 7. That line's moved to 1 is where that line went to. Moved to 1. It's basically a pick 'em. Okay, I'll take Notre Dame. For now.
Yeah, by a field goal. Nice.
I actually wouldn't touch the game in my real life. If you just made me right now, I would. Alabama is, as expected, to blow out Louisville in Orlando September the 1st. The Crimson Tide opened as a 20-point favorite over Louisville. The Sharps quickly bet that up to 25.
We talked about this earlier today. My guess was 18, but you know what? I've got to change these numbers because if Alabama truly has a quarterback, then that changes the equation for every game Alabama plays.
The only problem you have, I'd have to look at what the over is on that, but, with no Lamar Jackson, how would you like to be a first-time starter at Louisville and the first game you play is against Alabama?
I wouldn't.
Ooh, that's not what you do. Lane Kiffin and Florida Atlantic. This is a game you and I haven't talked about, but they're taking on Oklahoma. FAU and Lane Kiffin take on Oklahoma September the 1st. And even though Oklahoma's replacing Baker Mayfield, do you know that line opened at 17? You think that much of Lane Kiffin and FAU?
I don't know about that.
Oklahoma's been bet up to 21. That's going to get to 24.
Easily, I would think.
FAU
yes.
It's can't FAU. Block Oklahoma. What are we doing here? Florida State opened, at least at the, again, and this is the one you guys care most about, so let's get to it. It's the one I care most about, obviously. But this is all at the South Point. Florida State, Virginia Tech began as a pick'em. That line quickly got bet up to 4. Other locations have Florida State as much as a 6.5-point favorite. Does that not surprise you, a 6.5-point favorite?
Ooh, that's a little steep now. I feel good about the atmosphere that night and everything that's going to be fundamentally improved, but play for play, Fuente's not breaking in a new quarterback this year. Ooh, that's going to be dicey.
Virginia Tech lost a ton on the back end. We know that in the draft. We understand that is probably why this number is moving the way that it is. It's here. It's at night. This is a tough place to come play. When you're losing a lot on the defensive side of the football, you probably don't want to play an offense like the one that Willie's installing. Maybe that's the reason. But again, I would also argue and certainly counter that Bud Foster is not who you want to see when, A, you're working out the kinks of a new offense, and B, your biggest question mark is the offensive line.
Yeah, simplicity will be necessary for that Because if you try and get exotic into the exotics that, Bud's going to bring, that's not going to work very good.
I wouldn't think so, right? I mean, that one shocked me. Florida State, I understand why we would be favored. The Hokies went 9-4 last year, by the way, under Justin Fuente. I always remind myself that when we get into late May, early June, that you have to remind yourself as well as listeners exactly who did what and who moved on and who didn't and who's coaching where, and all of those things are true. But Virginia Tech went 9-4 last year. Lest we forget, I think the last time we really took a good look at Virginia Tech was when they were being pasted by the University of Miami, who played exceptionally well at home last year. Miami was obviously really good in Miami.
This is the thing that worries me, though. I get it that Virginia Tech purged a lot of people, but every team does. But for a first game, Virginia Tech went on the road last year in a hostile environment, played Miami. They also played a marquee matchup against Clemson. They came up short in those games, but experience in those games, especially for a young quarterback, that's a big deal. He's going to come to this atmosphere. Yeah, it's going to be raucous and loud, but it's not like he hasn't been in that type of atmosphere. Hell, last year they opened up against West Virginia, and they did it in Maryland at the Redskins' place, which that game was riveting. I think that was the Monday night game last year.
Forgot about that altogether.
And that was one of the better football games of the year. So they have a lot of experience in these types of atmospheres. If you're just looking for the intangibles and the emotion of the game, Virginia Tech should be fairly prepared for what they're going to run into that Monday from a just energy and loud fan base standpoint.
If I had thrown to you Florida State's favored by 2, Florida State favored by 3, would you have been surprised, or you would have said, no, that's the home field? I'll tell you what's amazing is when you see it get bet up to 4, or you see it as high as 6.5, what you were learning there is that bettors and the folks out in Vegas believe that Florida State's the better team on a neutral field. Florida State's a better team, not just because they're playing here in Tallahassee, but when the number gets that high, they're telling you they're a better team on a neutral field. Which, fine, I would like to believe by season's end that's going to be true. Game 1, it's a tough call.
It's a lot to chew on for game 1.
It's an awful lot to chew on. What's the update? What's the latest? Let's hear it. It's update time for that ass.
So CJ gets out of it with one run across. So
Nicely
it's 1-1. Now we're in the middle of 3. Was a sack fly, and then there was a strike him out, throw him out, double play on what looked to be maybe ball 4, and the runner was taking off and moving from second to third, and Cal throws behind him. So it's a weird strike him out, throw him out. It's not a steal attempt at all.
Oh, so the guy thought it was a walk.
He thought it was a walk, and he was heading towards third. So then you have 2 outs, runner on second, and CJ, I think, struck out the final batter of the inning.
Well, all hail in this situation, all over the map strike zone that is college baseball, and you can never predict, and I find absolutely mystifying and frustrating, and I don't know that we need to make it that random. I get you got to widen the plate for college kids, but good Lord. Hour number 2, fourth coverage. Stay with.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men on a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
Landowners, your Mahindra dealer is ready to help you save during Mahindra's Red Tag Sale. Enjoy up to $7,900 in tractor cash back and savings, or utility vehicle savings up to $1,700. Plus, Mahindra's industry-leading warranties still come standard. So hurry in for Mahindra's Red Tag Savings.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
that helps people with damaged credit. And now, to the end of the month, 2 years or 20,000 miles of complimentary maintenance with every new car purchase, plus $1,000 over book value for your trade. Best of all, my people are the best in the business. They will greet you with a smile and a handshake, and they will know your time is valuable. My managers are always accessible, and of course, you can always ask for me or my brother Peter. Bottom line, if you need a new or pre-owned car, you need to experience the Kraft difference. Great people, great product, great price, with the best car buying experience in town. Kraft Nissan on Mahan Drive between Academy Sports and Costco. And remember, if you don't see the Kraft tag on your car, you paid too much, way too much.
Working their way into the summer, DeWalt and Cornerstone Tool and Fastener are turning up the heat. Buy one DeWalt 20-volt Max XR lithium-ion brushless premium hammer drill and impact driver combo kit with two 5-amp-hour batteries and receive $100 off instantly. And you get one of the following DeWalt Bare tools for free: a 5-inch grinder, recip saw, or an LED spotlight. That's a 3-piece kit. Come check out all the new DeWalt products at Cornerstone Tool and Fastener. And while you're there, check out the most powerful cordless kit on the planet, GoVolt FlexVolt. Cornerstone Tool and Fastener, 1110 Stuckey Ave and 3269 Crawfordville Highway.
Congratulations, you are now a licensed drone pilot. But what should you do next to elevate your business to new heights? Learn how to package your drone photography by enrolling in TCC's Wakulla Environmental Institute's Drone Business Video Production course. Don't wait, seats are limited. Go to tcc.fl.edu and search drone today or call 850-558-3500. Learn how to package your drone photography so that you can get your drone business started. Go to tcc.fl.edu and search drone for drone education at TCC's Wakulla Environmental Institute. Class starts June 14th.
For better gas mileage and a longer-lasting engine, change your vehicle's oil at Superlube every 3 months or 3,000 miles, whichever comes first. For good times and family fun, Tallahassee heads to the Fun Station. And right now, when you change your oil at Superlube, you'll get a $15 Fun Station gift card. You don't need an appointment. You'll be in and out in no time. And with 19 Tallahassee area Superlubes, there's probably one right around the corner right now.
How I love to Superlube my car. Yes, sir.
Driving every day from the AmeriGas studios in the capital city of Tallahassee. This is 97.9 ESPN Radio, WTSM, Woodville, Thomasville, Tallahassee.
ESPN Radio Sports Center.
I'm Christine Lisi. Right now, 2 days after their most lopsided loss in playoff history, the Rockets seek to bounce back against the Warriors in Game 4 of the NBA's Western Conference Finals. Even though his Houston team is down 2-1, Coach Mike D'Antoni has said the pressure tonight is squarely on Golden State. That's actually not the case, says ESPN's Chauncey Billups.
Pressure's definitely on the Rockets. I think that's Coach D'Antoni. He's kind of coaching through the media. He's coaching through TV just to try to take the pressure off of his guys internally. But we all know that if this team goes down 3-1, this series will be over quick. And I think they know that too, and they'll probably play with that kind of urgency tonight.
Chauncey Billups on Golic and Wingo. Warriors forward Andre Iguodala, a key defender, doubtful with a bruised left knee. Game 4 coverage, 8 Eastern, ESPN Radio and the ESPN app. Milwaukee Mayor Tom Barrett's worried about public backlash over police conduct when a video that shows officers using a stun gun on Bucks rookie Sterling Brown without provocation becomes public tomorrow. Sources who've seen the body camera footage told the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel Brown was not at all combative before officers used the stun gun. The officers involved in the January 26th incident are the subject of an internal investigation. Brown wasn't charged following his arrest for resisting or obstructing an officer. He plans to file a civil lawsuit against the Milwaukee Police Department. NFL at Steelers OTAs today. Quarterback Ben Roethlisberger was seen giving tips to rookie Mason Rudolph after he overthrew fullback Roosevelt Nix. Roethlisberger also wanted to clarify his previous comments when he said he didn't plan to help out Rudolph. He said he didn't intend his words to be mean and that they were said in jest. Roethlisberger added that his first impression of Rudolph is that he's got a big arm and seems to understand the offense.
Live from the AmeriGas Propane Studios in the capital city of Tallahassee, this is the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Number 2, Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio. Thanks for tuning to it. Woo. I just now saw the tweet the big shooter Chip Baker threw out there at 90 degrees. What in the world? So, I didn't realize this was because a player forgot his uniform.
Yeah, that's the penalty, apparently, that the player is going to find out about in about a couple hours.
Walk into that room after the game, 90 degrees, get you some of that mild discomfort for the next hour and a half until that thing cools down.
I hope he doesn't have any food in there.
That's bad news. Florida State, Virginia tied at 1 apiece in the ACC tournament. That game, if you are not at home, can't watch it, and you're listening to me, we will update it frequently throughout the show with this particular sounder that we made famous just a year ago. And I have to admit, I was proud of me hitting the high note here. It's update time for that ass. So you'll hear that, and you'll know an update is forthcoming. 1-1, Florida State, Virginia, ACC tournament, game 1. Second game will be Friday night against NC State.
Wonder if they're coming home in between.
Also, why did the NHL take a cue from the NBA? You realize, and I know you know this now, but if the Lightning had won last night, and they did not, most unfortunately, and we will be privy to a Game 7 that will see us all tomorrow night on the edge of our seat. But if the Lightning had won last night and eliminated Washington, the first game of the Stanley Cup Finals, regardless, wouldn't have been till Monday. You're going to give people a week off? What are we doing here?
I think the networks wanted it locked in for a certain time against its regular TV schedule.
Well, maybe, but I'll tell you another problem with that move. Monday is a holiday, and people are going to work on Tuesday. Why wouldn't you play that on a Sunday and take full advantage of the fact that people have Monday off and they'd be more apt to stay up and watch that game in prime time and maybe have a good time and get into it?
I agree. Yes, 100%.
These leagues, man, get it together with the schedule. It's spaced out. That thing is really – have you looked at it's all been released now,
yes.
The entire schedule. Good God, they're going to be playing this thing in August.
Usually makes it into June, and I was wondering, given that the conference finals were so early, I thought, man, are they going to finish this thing before June?
No. They guaranteed they wouldn't, no matter what. It could be a 4-game sweep, and we won't be done in June. It's update time for that ass. That's a good sign because I know as I walked into the studio, Florida State was at the dish, and the answer is Tom.
2-out RBI double, Stephen Wells.
All right, Stephen Wells.
Brings Cal home, who should have been dead to rights, but the relay throw was a little bit wild. And
it's also why you make college kids execute.
Doesn't matter now. 2-1 Knowles with advancing to third on the throw was Wells. So 2 outs, runner on third.
Nicely done. Florida State leading Virginia 2-1. Bad news on that front for Florida State, not baseball, but just Florida State athletics. In the news today that Josh Ball suspended. This is a situation that involves a student panel, a disciplinary panel, stems from the issues we read about last season, where his girlfriend alleged that he abused her, was violent towards her on more than one occasion. No charges, no official criminal charges were filed against him after the TPD did an investigation, and then state's attorney declined as well. But obviously, this panel decided there's enough there to warrant him being suspended. He has been. I don't know to what extent he'll ever play football again at Florida State. I am speculating. I understand. As I said last hour, there are more important things than football. Obviously, we're not cold-hearted, just forwarded the cause of Florida State football. We understand that if something terrible, criminal happened here, then so be it. But if this is only going to be addressing the team, given this nature of this show, I would just say that I think you're going to have to probably move on without him here. And I would also say this. We do the Coach Cameron thing all the time where I joke around about Coach Cameron will kick a kid off a team for a misdemeanor and keep a kid with a felony, depending on what it is. I go case by case and the nature of the crime and all those things. I'll kick a kid off a team with no charges. No charges. If I could find proof to my satisfaction, that guy did something to this end,
Right.
he'd be gone.
Yes, anything that's consistent with what she's saying he did.
Oh, he'd be gone.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want you anywhere near me.
Yesterday.
Yes. Again, you got to be careful with that because you can get sued and everything else. But, yeah. I mean, anything that, if I believe it happened, and I know in my heart of hearts it did, and it doesn't meet necessarily criminal charge levels, but I think it happened or I see the evidence that it did, yeah, you got to go. Nobody's got time for that. I don't know if he did it or not. So, again.
You got to be careful.
We've got to be real careful, but I don't know if he did it or not. I'm just saying, if I had an inkling at all that happened or something like that happened, that guy would be nowhere near this team. And really, think about what Willie Taggart and this staff are attempting to do. We're talking about the discipline and the added element of responsibility that he has spoken to and had his assistants talking to, and you hear players and the academics and all that stuff. You know, I don't think you can be too careful here. You got to be,
The allegations themselves are specific and scary. That doesn't make them true because they're specific, but it just sometimes you read things and you go, well, that seems like it doesn't make any sense at all. See Winston Jameis situation. And there are other times when you read certain paperwork or allegations and you go, oh, man, that takes a disgusting mind to make it up. But then again, some people are crazy. So it's hard to balance things out.
You saw a situation with the linebacker out there in San Francisco where the girlfriend testified in court that she made up the whole thing.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, that's pretty weighty.
Then you have lawyers and liability and all that kind of stuff. And people, you get people in a room talking to you, and you're trying to make a decision as a coach. And I'm sure that there's a brain trust going, well, from a legal standpoint,
this is what we think.
What we need to do. And then you have the athletic director saying, well, I want a message that we run a clean operation here because you know why? I want to run a clean operation here. And it's tough.
It is tough. I would just say again, my hunch is I don't foresee him ever playing for Florida State again. That's my hunch. I'm just going to give you that. I don't think he'll ever play again. Not here. And if that's the case, then again, solely concentrating on football, the loss of Josh Ball hurts you. Because he was a guy that was going to start for you at tackle. So that's a problem for an already thin area, one that I think is potentially really the Achilles heel of this football team. And if that's going to be the case, you can't afford, again, guys to misstep, get hurt, or anything along those lines that see you miss and lose another starter. You just don't have enough talent there. You're in the process of trying to upgrade that. I think year one, when you're projecting what kind of season Willie Taggart can have, you have to keep in mind those areas of weakness. You have to keep in mind that offensive line is pretty critical. But
they're thrown into the fire pretty quickly too, in that regard, because lethal simplicity is supposed to make it easier. We all think, just from the outside looking in, all right, it might get a freshman tailback or a freshman wide receiver on the field easier or quicker than it was for the Jimbo Fisher offense. But what does it mean for an offensive lineman? Could you push a freshman into duty in this offensive line?
Yeah.
And might he be more predisposed to success than, with Fisher's offensive line? And how much does, physical maturity play into it? I think that's obviously the biggest chunk, but what does this offense do for an offensive lineman to accelerate the growth curve versus in the trenches for a pro-style system?
I'll tell you how to accelerate the growth of this offensive line. You go find some really talented JUCO offensive linemen. You pay them to come to Florida State. So much for running that clean program, Tom. Trying to win some games around here, buddy.
Well, legally speaking.
Yeah, of course. Absolutely. With scholarships and the like. Yes, absolutely. Are you about to click the button again? Oh, I got excited there for a moment.
No, things are dicey, No score change yet.
Okay.
But, instantly we get into the top of the fourth and bad things happen.
Well, this is a rapidly changing affair between Florida State and Virginia in the ACC tournament. Updates on the other side. Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
Landowners, Your Mahindra dealer is ready to help you save during Mahindra's Red Tag Sale. Enjoy up to $7,900 in tractor cash back and savings, or utility vehicle savings up to $1,700. Plus, Mahindra's industry-leading warranties still come standard. So hurry in for Mahindra's Red Tag Savings.
TNT.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
Shop for trimming out your truck and car concepts. People with their cars, we're number one by far. Exterior accessories, lift kits for your mud needs. Mud tires, nice wheels, everyone will get a deal. Window tinting, that's a must. Come on out and visit us. Truck and car concepts. We're your one-stop shop, we always aim to please. Truck and car concepts. Everything is here from A to Z.
An eager young FSU marketing major came into Poor Paul's the other day and told me what a genius he thought I was for having such great specials, like the free ladies' drinks on Tuesday nights, the free Gumby's pizza and $4.95 pitchers on Sunday and Monday night, and the cheapest prices in town every other night. And not to mention, all the free beer people wouldn't spit in the wheel of fortune. He asked me if I'd studied marketing, and I told him I had, but what I didn't tell the poor guy was that in 4 years, I didn't learn a damn thing in any of my classes. Most of my business philosophy came from observing a girl named Bunny who lived across from me and was, let's say, working her way through school. You see, Bunny had a great service, sold it at rock-bottom prices with a smile, and had hundreds of happy customers. And aside from that little red light in her window, all her advertising was simply word of mouth. So I didn't see the need for all those charts and graphs and formulas. I knew all I needed to be successful were the Bunny marketing methods. Sell really good stuff, cheap, with a smile. And that's why, just like at Bunny's, there's always a big crowd at Poor Paul's wanting to spend their money. And that's why that poor kid thought I was so smart. Who's your buddy?
Games for Less, the only locally owned and operated gaming store in town, has Tallahassee's largest selection of new and used video games and game systems. The future of video gaming is at Games for Less, where they have both the PS4 and Xbox One. It's time to trade in your old systems and elevate your gaming experience now. Games for Less is also your headquarters for the best in retro gaming. Atari 2600, original Nintendo, Super NES, or Sega Genesis, you name it. They got it at Games for Less. Games for Less, the Super Walmart Shopping Center on Appalachia Parkway. Give them a call today at 850-219-3535. That's Games for Less.
This year, Aaron's Memorial Day holiday weekend event is going to be more memorable than ever because just $5 gets you started leasing to own furniture, electronics, and appliances. And as always, there's no credit needed and free delivery and setup. Participating Aaron stores are open on Memorial Day. Don't miss it. Just $5 gets you started when you shop in-store or online from May 25th through the 28th during Aaron's Memorial Day holiday weekend event. Transaction advertised as a rental purchase agreement. Some restrictions apply. See store for details.
Shot, save, rebound, score!
The playoffs are here. The Corner Pocket is your home all spring long for all the heart-pounding moments in the NBA and Stanley Cup playoffs.
It's held in a shot, save, rebound,
The Corner Pocket on Appalachia Parkway next to Earth Fair is your headquarters for Trivia Tuesdays, Beer Bingo Thursdays, and of course, all the moments you'll never forget.
For the championship!
The Corner Pocket Bar and Grill, 2475 Appalachia Parkway. Tallahassee loves the Corner Pocket.
Are you ready to experience an awesome fishing expedition? Sea Quarters Marina is home to several great charter services. All charters are customized based upon the types of fishing opportunities available and the type of fishing the customer requests. The Northwest Gulf Coast offers a variety of different angling adventures thanks to unspoiled back county islands and crystal clear flats. For more information regarding charters, call Sea Quarters Marina at 697-8400 or online at seaquartersmarina.com.
This is the Jeff Cameron Show. Jeff Cameron Show. On 97.9 ESPN Radio.
you seen this Brandi Chastain plaque?
Yes.
Oh, my God. They decided to etch Peter King into bronze and call it Brandi Chastain. What in the world are we doing here? That thing looks like an old man at the 19th hole about to smoke a cigarette. What in the world did this person do? This is crazy. So I'm sorry, I do have to fill you in on what the hell I'm talking about. There is another plaque gone awry, much like the one to Ronaldo, which was hilarious as well. But this one's better. This is a fat dude that they chiseled instead of Brandi Chastain. A Hall of Fame plaque meant to honor her drew comparisons to Gary Busey, amongst others. It doesn't look anything like her.
It's like the bench at the driving range. And it's like this bench dedicated to William Buddy Castellanos, assistant golf pro from 1974 to 1992.
Yeah. He was 5'7", but hit it a mile. Yeah, this this doesn't look anything like soccer star Brandi Chastain of World Cup fame. She was inducted into the Bay Area Sports Hall of Fame in San Francisco, and it's not the most flattering. My goodness, she was quoted and chose her words carefully about the bronze sculpture. But I would think, my friend, they're going to have to redo this one. If you haven't seen it, just type in plaque honoring Brandi Chastain. Are you looking at it now?
Oh, I've seen it. I mean, it's been a sensation all day.
I stumbled across it just now in the break, just reading a story, clicked on another story, and then thought, well, let's see what this plaque of Brandi Chastain looks like. And my goodness gracious, it looks like a dude named Jerry who smokes a lot, just retired, is in need of a bypass.
Yeah, probably at least a triple.
He's enjoyed life, Tom. I don't think he's going to be with us much longer. Good thing they got a plaque honoring this random dude
who helped us win the World Cup in the 90s.
Apparently in dominating fashion, yeah. Oh, that's too good. Too good. What's the latest?
Well.
Not good.
It's update time for that ass. It's 2-2. We got out of it. We got out of the jam. It was second and third, nobody out in the top of the fourth immediately.
C.J. Van Eck has been pulled from this start, ladies and gentlemen. We have now moved on.
We have moved on, and so now it's 2-2. Knowles and Virginia were heading to the bottom half of the fourth inning. Another runner caught in no man's land by Cal Raleigh, standing at second base. I don't know what's going on with Virginia, the base running team today. They look like us circa 2015.
I was going to say last year, year before, whichever those years were, that I would come on the air on a daily basis and go, what in the world are we doing on the base paths? That was the most maddening thing, perhaps more maddening than not being able to pick up the baseball.
So we brought Pollock in there, and now
did a good job.
Yeah. Relatively speaking, yep, we're tied.
Flowers tried to throw the ball into the other team's dugout. But
that he did on a sac fly to center, which is what tied the game.
At Jay Cameron Show, if the JCS PR firm published a preseason FSU football periodical, who's on the cover? Cam Akers. It's not close.
Yes.
Who's the breakout player? You got a couple good candidates there.
It's Terry.
Well,
right?
I think
for a preseason magazine?
Preseason magazine, I think you're probably
You got to
right.
sell some hype in the preseason, so Terry's your guy.
Well, and I think for good reason, though. I do believe he's just going to have a huge year in this offense. I think you could select him. I think, gosh, is there any other candidate that you would say you're fairly certain? Maybe. I don't know who you would pick. I don't know who you'd pick on. Is there a defensive? Woodby? Woodby could be a guy.
On the
could
defense,
maybe put on a breakout star.
Yeah.
You'd put Woodby there, yeah.
But Stanford Samuels, go with the legacy angle because those corners are going to be good.
Breakout player is Terry or Woodby. On the cover is Cam Akers. Rising star is also Cam Akers, but I guess maybe that gets interesting. Rising star Kendo.
That would be nice.
Not a terrible choice.
Yeah.
I think
Wilson.
DJ Matthews. You got candidates, right? You got real good. That's actually exciting. Like this is a good Twitter question because in the exercise, what you end up doing is finding out that you have 5, 6, 7, 8 guys that you're really quite excited to watch play football this year. That you think have a chance to be really, really good.
Yeah, I'm excited in a way.
I mean, Levante Taylor could be on this list for, there's talent all over the field there.
Maybe Dontavius could be a breakout player for you.
Nazrul Dean could be another player that's a star for you.
I hope he's good in coverage. I know everybody falls in love with the skill set, but I hope he's good in coverage because he got freshmaned a lot last year, and I just hope that's a story of a freshman and not, the larger flaws of the player.
He does ask also, does Ryan, did you know stat? I think he'd probably use Cam Akers' stats surpassing Dalvin Cook.
Yeah,
I mean
quietly.
I think it's pretty important when you got a guy on your roster from a 6-loss team, an up and down, a freshman quarterback where teams didn't have to necessarily respect your passing prowess week in and week out. You still had a guy break Dalvin Cook's records as a freshman. It speaks to some talent and what he's maybe capable of doing with a little bit of help here.
Well, and he's not really a breakaway runner. I mean, Dalvin has a lot to his game. Dalvin was as complete a back right here at Florida State.
He broke a ton of tackles. He had lightning quick speed. He set you up. He had great vision.
He was more of a home run hitter than Cam is. He'll gash you for 15 to 20 at a time, whereas Dalvin could go for 60 at any moment. I think that's the difference between the two, at least at this point in
the
their
more home run hitter, right? Yeah.
Right. Maybe Cam develops that as he gets older and more physically mature, if that's possible.
He was just a freshman a year ago,
right.
So it's very possible. Yeah, absolutely. I think, what I would like to see, if we're going to talk about things that could surprise where Florida State has a chance to win, I guess if you play the game this way, if you say to yourself, what's more likely, 10 wins or 5 losses?
Ooh.
That's a tough call. That's a really tough call. I have a hard time seeing either happen. I think I would be inclined to go towards 10 wins, but that would be a homer in me, I think. Seriously.
Yeah, I mean, you're another injury or two away in the offensive line from staring at 5 losses at this point.
So I think you're more inclined to say certainly 8-4, 9-3 are your most likely outcomes for the season. 10-2, 7-5 would be a pretty substantial surprise for anybody either way. 5 losses is a bad season. It's just a bad season. Nobody's looking at I don't think anybody's sitting around saying 11 wins.
If you could promise me that outside of this most recent of updates with Ball, if that's the only thing that happens to the offensive line, then maybe 10 wins over the 5 losses. But if you're saying I can't tell you what the health of the offensive line is going to be, given its injury history, independent of losing Ball, that's tough. That's the hard part and the key to the season here is we're counting on these players to be able to give you 12 games, and their careers don't suggest they can.
It didn't help that the university panel suspended Josh Ball. I don't say that against the university panel. I'm just saying that news comes down today that happened, and that means he's likely out. And now, again, an area of already real concern becomes thinner, and you've got games against Virginia Tech, Miami, who's very good on defense, Clemson, Notre Dame on the road, NC State on the road. I was funny. I got called earlier today. I was talking with Bud Elliott from Tomahawk Nation. We were kind of comparing notes on the off season and things that we're hopeful for, and things that we also think maybe something that we can't fix until there's an upgrade, until there's an influx of talent, right?
Yes.
And as we were going through that, he said, "Where's your head at with the season?" And I said, "Oh, I feel pretty good, 8-4, 9-3." And he said, "Yeah, we're looking along the same lines." But then we went through the games, and he asked me, "Which ones would you guarantee are victories? Have you played that game yet?" And I hadn't played that game yet, because you got to take serious the idea that you're guaranteeing a victory now, right?
All right, so Boston College is out, right? Because
right. So I can guarantee you a win over Samford September the 8th. I can guarantee you a win over Northern Illinois. I mean, I don't hesitate on those games. That's 2. Is there another game I'm guaranteeing you? Guaranteeing now. There's no way that it doesn't happen. Is there another game on the schedule? Wake Forest?
Yeah, Wake the 20th of October, yes.
Sure about that?
Yeah. It's here. Even when we were going bad with Jimbo, we take care of business here.
All right. Okay, so I'll give you that one. There's 3. I don't think there's another one.
Florida.
No.
Yeah.
You can't guarantee me that. You cannot.
Oh, man.
By
the
the end
last
of the
few
year,
years,
no. By the end
wiping the floor with these guys.
Listen, there's a difference between saying I think we'll win the game and guaranteeing I think we'll beat Louisville. I think we're going to beat NC State. I think we're going to beat a lot of teams. I can't guarantee you that. That's not a guarantee. No. Florida's talented enough that if you didn't play well, you could lose.
The Syracuse game is more in doubt than the Florida game. That's how Florida's terrible. They're terrible.
But they're also
And it's
going
here.
to be better coached than they've been. And by season's end, Dan Mullen could have something going, at least competent quarterback play for the first time in forever.
With what offensive line in front of them?
I'm just
and
saying,
what defense?
I'm not telling you Florida's on the verge of having a great season. We're talking about guaranteed wins.
I'm more worried
Our
about Boston
offensive line-
College,
Yeah,
NC State on the road, Syracuse on the road.
Our offensive line is not very good. And I'm saying when you don't have an offensive line that you can hang your hat on and trust even a little bit, you can't guarantee a win over Florida.
Okay. I disagree with what our offensive line may be bad, but theirs is worse. They've got, I mean, we were talking about the futures today for college football national title odds and if you laid 10, 20 bucks on the Gators, what it would net you. What was it, like plus?
Oh, their odds were awful. They were plus 6,000, I think. What it was yeah.
I mean, they're looking somewhere in the neighborhood of Oregon, according to Vegas.
Oregon and TCU, and who was the other one that blew me away?
I mean, we know how bad Oregon is. We were watching them, especially in retrospect, after Willie took over. Now we're going back and looking at that Oregon team, and my God, they've got real problems. And that's why it was vital to them that the recruiting class was going to be top 5, top 8, which is what it was on pace to be. And if you're telling me that the Sharps believe that Oregon and Florida are on the same pedestal.
Yeah, but I'm telling you
yikes.
that if we didn't play well on a given Saturday, you could lose to Oregon. So I'm saying I can't guarantee you that win. It's not the same as saying I'm guaranteeing you a win over the likes of Samford or Northern Illinois or Wake Forest even. I think Florida's talented enough with a competent coach that, again, if your offensive line is a real problem, you could lose. I don't think we will. We're not arguing about that I think we're going to lose to Florida. I'm not even arguing that I think Florida's good in any way. But there's enough talent there. If you just go back and look by recruiting rankings, there's enough talent on that roster to say that you can't guarantee a win there. Especially when your problem is offensive line.
I'm going to mark the tape down May 22nd. If Florida beats us this year in our house, then I'll cop to it.
I did not say they don't have to beat us. That's not the argument. I'm not saying they're going to beat us because I don't believe they will. I believe we're going to win the game. I also believe we're going to win several games on here that I'm not guaranteeing a win.
I understand the exercise, but what I'm saying is, I mean, Florida played the worst Florida State team in the Jimbo Fisher era last year and didn't even sniff anything close to a win at home with Taven Bryan on the defensive line.
Right, and they made a change. They made a coaching change, and I do believe it was an upgrade. Dan Mullen is a better coach than McElwain. I believe that will play out. I think Florida will have a tough year. I think it's going to be time will tell to see if Dan Mullen can end up winning enough recruiting battles in the state to be competitive with Georgia in their own division and certainly Florida State here in the state and Miami here in the state. Time is going to tell us that. But I think that the immediate impact of Dan Mullen is that they have an upgrade and they'll be better offensively.
They do. Now, if Mullen took over with Muschamp's recruits, you have a problem, like a big-time problem.
Right.
But he's taking over McElwain's recruiting classes, and I get you. They're top 20, but they're not Florida bona fide blue chippers.
No. And they're not a good team. I mean, I think we agree more than we don't. I'm just saying I believe it doesn't fall under the umbrella of a guaranteed win. Whereas I think that obviously Northern Illinois, Samford, you could absolutely run the same play. I mean, seriously, you could run the same play on every play and still win the game.
Well, that's like a guaranteed 40-point win, you know?
Yeah, but there aren't too many guarantees on this list. And when you're really good, like if you look at Alabama's schedule and you do the Alabama, if you play the same game.
Sure. Well, let me ask you this real quick. Would you guarantee the Florida game before if you had to, or if you had to rank confidence points? Would you rank the Florida game more confident than Boston College, that we would beat Florida more than BC?
We play them both here.
Back-to-back weeks. There's an attrition element to the Florida game, given that you play Notre Dame, BC back-to-back weeks, and then you play Florida.
We play NC State, Notre Dame, BC back-to-back weeks.
Okay.
Which is another reason I can't guarantee the Florida win. I think BC is going to have one of their better teams. I agree with you. I think they're going to have a really good offensive line. I think they're going to run the football. They're going to punish you. They're going to keep games low scoring, play good defense. Adazio is going to have those boys ready to go to a bowl.
I get year to year can be tricky, but just look at last year, 35-3 in their building, and then. But I mean, that's the same team that quit on us up in Boston College, and we handled Florida like they were nothing. Because they were nothing.
It's fascinating. It is fascinating. No, Florida's. If nothing else, we have definitely documented Florida's impotence over the last few years.
It's stunning.
It is stunning. It is stunning. I don't even know if Florida fans realize how listless, at least comparatively, they've been, you know?
Mullen might get a lot more out of him.
I do think
there's less to get out. There's less things in the cupboard to squeeze.
Not picking him to win the East, not picking him to beat Georgia, not picking him to be very good at all. Competitive. I think they're competitive, so I'm not going to just chalk up, you know. And I think, again, better coach. Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9, ESPN Radio.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this. It's right here, guys. We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
Landowners, your Mahindra dealer is ready to help you save during Mahindra's Red Tag Sale. Enjoy up to $7,900 in tractor cash back and savings, or utility vehicle savings up to $1,700. Plus, Mahindra's industry-leading warranties still come standard. So hurry in for Mahindra's Red Tag Savings.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
Refreshing Mountain Dew Ice. Why settle for this when you could have this? You want a fist bump that ends in one of those fake explosions?
Hey, Charles.
Or a fist bump that ends in an actual explosion?
Hey, Charles.
Want to pull up to the party on this? Or arrive in this? Make this musical request? Or this one? So yeah, you can keep drinking the same old, but we think you'll like the exploding fist bump, showing up to the party properly way to lemon lime, right? Mountain Dew Ice. Clear, refreshing lemon lime, redefined.
Want to trick your truck for free? Mountain Dew and Dollar General announce Trick Your Truck. Your shot at winning up to $10,000 to trick your truck. Get your free Do Life sticker at any Tallahassee area Dollar General and put it on your ride. Spotters are looking for Do Life stickers now.
Hi, Chris Kraft for Kraft Nissan. Look around. That's right. You see Nissans everywhere. Tallahassee is officially a Nissan town, a Kraft Nissan town. Why? Because Kraft Nissan has the best pricing, the best selection, and the best buying experience in town. And at Kraft Nissan, you get the best best value for your dollar. With more standard features, our exclusive and the original lifetime warranty, our Easy Choice menu that gives you a price and payment in writing, our New For You program that helps people with damaged credit. And now, till the end of the month, 2 years or 20,000 miles of complimentary maintenance with every new car purchase, plus $1,000 over book value for your trade. Best of all, my people are the best in the business. They will greet you with a smile and a handshake, and they will know your time is valuable. My managers are always accessible, and of course, you can always ask for me or my brother Peter. Bottom line, if you need a new or pre-owned car, you need to experience the Kraft difference. Great people, great product, great price, with the best car buying experience in town. Kraft Nissan on Mahan Drive between Academy Sports and Costco. And remember, if you don't see the Kraft tag on your car, you paid too much, way too much.
Do you work in construction, photography, or real estate and use a drone for your job? Did you know that the FAA requires you to be licensed? That's right. All commercial use drone operators have to be a Part 107 license. Have questions? Contact the drone experts at TCC's Wakulla Environmental Institute. Go to tcc.fl.edu and search drones or call 850-558-3500. That's 850-558-3500. Remember, the FAA requires all commercial use drone operators to be licensed.
ESPN Radio Sports Center.
I'm Christine Lisi. Right now, 2 days after their most lopsided loss in playoff history, the Rockets seek to bounce back against the Warriors in Game 4 of the NBA's Western Conference Finals. Even though his Houston team is down 2-1, Coach Mike D'Antoni has said the pressure tonight is squarely on Golden State. That's actually not the case, says ESPN's Chauncey Billups.
Pressure's definitely on the Rockets. I think that's Coach D'Antoni. He's kind of coaching through the media. He's coaching through TV just to try to take the pressure off of his guys internally. But we all know that if this team goes down 3-1, this series will be over quick. And I think they know that too, and they'll probably play with that kind of urgency tonight.
Chauncey Billups on goal against Wingo. Warriors forward Andre Iguodala, a key defender, doubtful with a bruised left knee. Game 4 coverage, 8 Eastern, ESPN Radio and the ESPN app. Milwaukee Mayor Tom Barrett's worried about public backlash over police conduct when a video that shows officers using a stun gun on Bucks rookie Sterling Brown without provocation becomes public tomorrow. Sources who've seen the body camera footage told the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel Brown was not at all combative before officers used the stun gun. The officers involved in the January 26th incident are the subject of an internal investigation. Brown wasn't charged following his arrest for resisting or obstructing an officer. He plans to file a civil lawsuit against the Milwaukee Police Department. NFL at Steelers OTAs today. Quarterback Ben Roethlisberger was seen giving tips to rookie Mason Rudolph after he overthrew fullback Roosevelt Nix. Roethlisberger also wanted to clarify his previous comments when he said he didn't plan to help out Rudolph. He said he didn't intend his words to be mean and that they were said in jest. Roethlisberger added that his first impression of Rudolph is that he's got a big arm and seems to understand the offense.
Live from the AmeriGas Propane Studios in the capital city of Tallahassee, this is the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Earlier today, Pitt beat Georgia Tech 2-1. Pitt beat Georgia Tech 2-1 ACC tournament. Florida State tied with Virginia 2-2. That game, bottom of the fifth, 2-2. Florida State and Virginia. Van Eck starting for Florida State. Didn't go as long as I had hoped. Wasn't a disaster either. Somewhere in the mix. Where do you stand on the Texans helmets?
That's a good question. When they first came out, I loved them. The more I watch the Texans play, the more I think it's just the Patriots helmet, and it's Texified, if you will.
Just kind of curious where you stood on that. I've never asked you about the Texans helmet.
If you look at the similarities between the two logos, it's
kind of the same.
Yeah, pretty much.
So it is last night. A couple things happened. First of all, Cleveland wins. If you want to know how disinteresting these playoffs have been in those series, the two of them, West Conference Finals and East Conference Finals, at least in terms of how close the games are or not. Apparently, Cleveland's win last night sparked all across the ESPN platform a debate about LeBron James versus Michael Jordan. Is that where we're already at? I mean, these games are still being played. There is still a finals to go through, and the shows were debating LeBron v. Jordan again, and the never-ending debate. It's not that time, guys. You've got till the end of at the end of June, you've got the All-Star break in July. You got lots of things that are going to be and feel more desperate than now. The games are being played. What are you doing?
Well, the Eastern Conference Finals is on ESPN, where the Western is on TNT. So anything they possibly can to get you to stay interested all the way to the end.
Eastern is a lot more interesting than Western. So, I mean, I understand that the matchup didn't appear that way beforehand, but the games certainly have been. Houston, in their lone win over Golden State, blew them out. Golden State has ass-hammered Houston in their 2 wins. Those games, I mean, literally embarrassingly bad, 40-plus points in the last one. At least Cleveland-Boston sees a 2-2 series where the home team has held court, and it's potentially going to go 7. And last night's game was less than 10. Now, again, needed a little bit of luck there at the end to get it under double digits for the first time in these conference finals, but it's a more compelling series. I don't know why we have to go default here and start arguing about LeBron or MJ, which is also something that I wouldn't want to argue anyhow, even if we were in July, because it's been done a gazillion times. One guy's still playing. We're not done here yet. We've had this discussion before. More and more you do realize over the years that the game is radically different now than it was in Jordan's era, or it was in Bill Russell's era, or it was before that. So it's a pointless endeavor.
They don't want you to know that because it's compelling. It gives them something to scream at each other about. Embrace the debate, man. Come on.
I don't think it's compelling, though. I don't.
We'll climb up the ranks. Just embrace the debate.
So, that series, again, I think plays out in the way that is predictable. Boston will win Game 5. Cleveland will win Game 6. And then it will be for all the marbles in Game 7. And Boston will be 10-0 at home when that game is played, Game 7. And if that happens, I mean, first of all, I do think a lot of people will tune into that game because I think they're going to get LeBron's best shot. This is his last stand, and I think that would be the time that they'd have a chance to lose that game.
If it follows form, then it's kind of like one of the Heat and Spurs finals where you're going to have a great game, but not a great series.
Right.
That's the problem with the East. That 9 points, I mean, yeah, Boston scored 2 seconds to go last night.
Yeah.
And it was like a layup for no reason.
You got a layup with 4 seconds, I think it was.
Yeah, 4 seconds. So, then you inbound it and they just hold the ball. And that's how you get to a single-digit result. So you don't have a great series per se, but you have a 2-2 series.
Yeah, you might have a good series that doesn't feature very many good games.
Right. Yes.
Yeah. I think that's what that Boston-Cleveland series is. I think Boston wins comfortably at home in Game 5. I do. And it's funny, too, to watch the way that, again, I get too often into my gambling angles, but you just think about what the public sees. They go along for these rides, for these trends, and they forget about what took place before it. Boston's 1-6 on the road in the playoffs. They're 9-0 at home. They don't look like the same team at all. They look like a very, very, very different team. And is the one win, Matthew, the one where they were down like 18 to your Sixers? Oh, that might have been.
He shrugged his shoulders for those listening on the radio, but in such a way that leads us to believe, yes, it's precisely a game against the Sixers.
Boston's one win is the one where they were down by nearly 20 to Philadelphia, and really that makes all the difference. But, they just are two very, very different teams. I will say that I enjoyed the post-game commentary, a lot more refreshing from Brad Stevens than what you got from D'Antoni, with Houston attempting to tell us that the pressure's on Golden State. Sir. I mean, sir. So, if you were to lose this next game to Golden State and be down 3-1, what do you think the likelihood is that you're going to win 3 in a row against Golden State, Mike? Yeah, I'd say the pressure's on you, dude.
We were the best team in the regular season. We had a lot of winning streaks,
Don't do that. Don't insult your players' and fans' intelligence. Well, really, when you look at it, I mean, we don't have to win this game. Pressure's on them. Pressure's on them. It is? No, the pressure's on you, man. You lost home court the first game of the series. You got beat up at home the first game of the series.
That's
they took
correct.
home court back and said, screw you, this series is over.
Right.
And you're going to try to tell me that the pressure's on them.
Yeah,
Got it.
Yeah, because they beat you by 41. Maybe it should have been 50. Man, that's why they're feeling the pressure. They're trying to cover incredible spreads.
Yeah.
They're going to tease the line up to 30.
It's 9.5, I think I saw.
Could you imagine? It was 9 this morning, so I'll bet it's moving in that direction. Probably not the other way. Could you imagine calling up the local guy and saying, I'd like to tease this to 37?
Yeah.
What kind of number would you give me?
Yeah, 37. Good Lord. Well, so they won by 41, and that can never happen, but it did happen. And so now I am very, very interested in what happens from here. Speaking of those lines, college football lines came out. Michigan, Notre Dame, Virginia Tech, Florida State. We already talked about FAU, OU, but Auburn and Washington. Miami -3 against LSU, and that has not moved. Miami LSU is the one that they think that the bookmakers got right off the bat. I bet that line really doesn't move before kickoff. I think it'll stay at 3.
That does feel reasonable. I don't think you'd favor LSU in this game, right?
I think I'm torn. I think I think I'd probably pick Miami because of their defense.
Richt versus O. I mean, that is advantage Miami, right?
I just never feel comfortable with sorry-ass Malik Rozier under center. But West Virginia and Tennessee, they feel like this is – if you're a Tennessee fan, you have had to get used to starting anew. You've had to get used to coaches coming in, feeling that infusion of life, of renewed hope, only to be disappointed, profoundly so, quickly and often. And I feel like you're on the verge of doing that exact thing yet again. It's not going to work out. Sorry. I'm gonna first guess it now. Prue, it's not going to work out for you. You're going to get boat raced by West Virginia in this game. You'll beat my beloved East Tennessee State Buccaneers and whoever the other sorry sap team is that you play. But then you go on a schedule from hell, and you're going to be like 2-5. And we're going to be sitting here talking about whether or not Tennessee can be bowl eligible.
Isn't that the leader in the clubhouse?
That's how that's going to go.
West Virginia and Tennessee for non-traditional sightseeing tailgate of the year.
Oh, it's a good one. Well, I've talked about the West Virginia fans that I saw up close and personal more than once. The Gator Bowl in particular, that was something.
Every fan base has its losers, and a lot of them who yap at each other. But I think it would be pretty special to see Tennessee fans yapping at West Virginia fans back and forth.
What could be better? West Virginia versus Mississippi State?
That's not bad. Ole Miss, too.
Yeah, I mean, anybody in Mississippi.
Yeah.
So, I mean, would it be West Virginia versus South Carolina?
Washington State, West Virginia?
Well, that's a special kind of country.
You got some real interesting people going at it right there.
Yeah. All very, very adept with a gun. Probably fans of possum and eating it.
That'd be like Louisiana Lafayette, West Virginia, that kind of thing?
They're kind of probably fun, actually, Louisiana.
You think so?
Yeah, I think the Cajuns will be fun. Yeah, I think they'll be all right. Yeah.
I mean, Charlotte must be like, did we really sign up for this? I think that's where that game is being played, right? Is Charlotte?
Oh, the West Virginia-Tennessee game?
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's a neutral site.
Well, imagine if it were played in New York City. Let's send up West Virginia and Tennessee to Boston. That'll be fun.
Oh, well,
yeah.
Maybe they'll get along on some level. I don't know.
I don't think so. Maine. Send them to Maine.
Oh, yeah. Vermont.
Those poor people.
It's a different planet.
Those poor people in Vermont.
Just wait. Stop soiling our lakes.
Oh, my word.
These are clean lakes.
Ole Miss, Texas Tech. Fun game. I thought it was Mizzou. I looked at it wrong. It's Ole Miss, Texas Tech.
It's also a pretty good pregame tailgate.
Ole Miss, Texas Tech?
Yeah.
Are we going to do this now? We got our own tailgate ranking system? For
Lubbock folk?
Yeah. Oxford and Lubbock. It's not you can't do better than West Virginia, Tennessee. But here's the problem. Knoxville's fine. If you've ever been there, it's fine.
Yeah.
And you're thinking of other parts of Tennessee.
I'm just thinking of the fans who would be there tailgating.
Right.
Yeah, and getting testy with each other.
Well, let me tell you something now. Again, I have been a very fortunate man to work in the field of sports for as long as I have. And I've been to a lot of bowl games, been to a lot of games all over this country. It is something to see West Virginia. I mean, that is, you would be, if you haven't done it, I need you to come with me.
Anybody out there?
Yeah, you got to see it. It's something. Final hour, forthcoming. Stay with.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this. It's right here, guys. We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men on a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
Landowners, your Mahindra dealer is ready to help you save during Mahindra's Red Tag sale. Enjoy up to $7,900 in tractor cash back and savings, or utility vehicle savings up to $1,700. Plus, Mahindra's industry-leading warranties still come standard. So hurry in for Mahindra's Red Tag savings.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Blountstown Highway, 574-4100.
Altair, they both hit home runs, and it was the home run by Altair that was the biggest difference maker in the game. Pitch from Carl, swung on and crushed, sailing deep through the Philadelphia skyline, and that is way out of here. Aaron Altair drops one about 18 rows deep to left field. A pinch hit home run, and it's now 3-0 Phillies here in the bottom of the 7th inning. So the Braves did their best to come from behind late in the ball game, could not do so. Shut out for the 3rd time this year. Game 2 in this series will be tonight at 7:05 Eastern, 6:05 Central. Brandon McCarthy versus Vince Velasquez right here on the Braves Radio Network. I'm Ben Ingram, and this has been your Atlanta Braves Radio Network update.
Fonville Lewis Mester McConaughey sponsors Braves baseball so that all of you can enjoy the action. Ever since the days of Hank Aaron and Dale Murphy, we've been Tallahassee's home run hitting law firm. And because we don't get paid unless we win, we want to win every case as much as Chipper Jones wanted to win every game. So when you're injured, don't just trust any law firm to handle your case. Make the call to the bullpen for a trusted closer. To see our stats on the back of our baseball card, visit wrongfullyinjured.com. Fonville Lewis Mester McConaughey. Personal injury law is all we do.
Have you ever noticed when you report an accident or a claim to an insurance company, they are very eager to get you to one of their approved body shops. They say that they guarantee the shops work, but what they're really saying is the shop works for them, not the customer. So choose a shop that is working for and looking out for you, someone you trust. It's your choice. Lisa's Paint and Body.
License number MP46050.
The Greater Tallahassee Chamber of Commerce, who's celebrating their 95th year in business this year, would like to recognize their newest members.
Hi, I'm Corey Melton, Vice President of Membership, and I'm proud on behalf of the Chamber to welcome our newest members from the month of April. A. Angel Auto Sales, Cypress Capital, 97.9 ESPN Radio, Farming the Future, Gypsia Boutique Incorporated, Handle Me With Care Foundation, Hieronymus Technologies, Monogram Art, Rebels Midtown Boutique, Tallahassee Chiropractic and Injury Clinic, and Waterstone Mortgage.
The Chamber is proud to support over 1,400 local businesses representing over 60,000 employees. For information on how your business can be a part of the Greater Tallahassee Chamber of Commerce, contact Corey Melton at 850-521-3104. Once again, contact Corey Melton at 850-521-3104.
There's big savings today, up to $1,000 off at TNT Supercenter on the brand new QuietTech Yamaha gas golf cars. The new Yamaha technology combines the quietness of electric with the dependability of gas and the very first independent rear suspension ever found in a golf car. Choose from over 30 new gas Yamahas, including 4-passenger Adventure Sports and the 6-passenger Concierge. Ask about zero down and low interest financing with approved credit. And TNT delivery is free from Valdosta to Tallahassee. Just in at TNT Supercenter, a special fleet purchase of 2016 Club Car Precedent golf cars. These like new Club Car golf cars at TNT Supercenter are $27.99, including the charger and windshield. Only at TNT Supercenter, and only while they last. Just $27.99. Zero down and low interest financing available with approved credit, and delivery is free from Valdosta to Tallahassee. US 19 South, next to the Dairy Queen in Thomasville. View inventory and pricing at TNTSupercenter.com. TNT Supercenter, Thomasville, Georgia.
You don't have to sacrifice style to have a floor that's 100% waterproof for life. Because the Home Depot has Pergo Outlast Plus laminate starting at just $279 a square foot. With 22 colors, including on-trend grays, Pergo Outlast Plus can fit any style, in any room, beautifully, and resist water. Get Pergo Outlast Plus starting at just $279 a square foot at the #1 Pergo waterproof laminate flooring retailer, the Home Depot. More saving, more doing. U.S. only. See warranty for details.
Driving every day from the AmeriGas studios in the capital city of Tallahassee, this is 97.9 ESPN Radio, WTSM, Woodville, Thomasville, Tallahassee.
ESPN Radio Sports Center.
I'm Christine Lisi. Right now, 2 days after their most lopsided loss in playoff history, the Rockets seek to bounce back against the Warriors in Game 4 of the NBA's Western Conference Finals. Even though his Houston team is down 2-1, Coach Mike D'Antoni has said the pressure tonight is squarely on Golden State. That's actually not the case, says ESPN's Chauncey Billups.
Pressure's definitely on the Rockets. I think that's Coach D'Antoni. He's kind of coaching through the media. He's coaching through TV just to try to take the pressure off of his guys internally. But we all know that if this team goes down 3-1, this series will be over quick. And I think they know that too, and they'll probably play with that kind of urgency tonight.
Chauncey Billups on Golic and Wingo. Warriors forward Andre Iguodala, a key defender, doubtful with a bruised left knee. Game 4 coverage, 8 Eastern, ESPN Radio and the ESPN app. Milwaukee Mayor Tom Barrett's worried about public backlash over police conduct when a video that shows officers using a stun gun on Bucks rookie Sterling Brown without provocation becomes public tomorrow. Sources who've seen the body camera footage told the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel Brown was not at all combative before officers used the stun gun. The officers involved in the January 26th incident are the subject of an internal investigation. Brown wasn't charged following his arrest for resisting or obstructing an officer. He plans to file a civil lawsuit against the Milwaukee Police Department. NFL at Steelers OTAs today. Quarterback Ben Roethlisberger was seen giving tips to rookie Mason Rudolph after he overthrew fullback Roosevelt Nix. Roethlisberger also wanted to clarify his previous comments when he said he didn't plan to help out Rudolph. He said he didn't intend his words to be mean and that they were said in jest. Roethlisberger added that his first impression of Rudolph is that he's got a big arm and seems to understand the offense.
Live from the AmeriGas Propane Studios in the capital city of Tallahassee, this is the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Final hour of the Jeff Cameron Show, at least for today. Thanks for tuning to it. I'm Jeff. That's Tom. We're online, ESPNTallahassee.com. That's where you go to listen live via the streaming, free. Always don't miss anything. If you do, go find it. All 3 hours of it going to be posted today upon the conclusion of the program, both on iTunes and in our own audio vault on the webpage. You can email us if you like, jcs at 979espnradio.com. On Twitter, it's at JCameronShow, WTSM app. For mobile devices, we're on YouTube, ESPN Tallahassee on YouTube. And, I think that's it. JCS at 979espnradio.com, the email address. Go ahead, cue it up, buddy. I think it's, even though nothing's really happened, there are those just hopping in the car, and they need to know that throughout the hour they can trust us to do this. It's update time for that ass. And I'm going to guess 2-2 is your score between Florida State and Virginia in the ACC tournament. Game 1 for Florida State. Game 2 for Florida State against NC State is Friday. Am I right?
That is correct. We are in the 6th inning. There was a bases-loaded 2-out situation for the Noles, but lefty-lefty for Mendoza. It was a ground ball to second base. Virginia ended the threat. Since then, nothing really crazy. Still 2-2 in the 6th.
2-2 in the 6th in Durham. Florida State and Virginia. We'll let you know what happens as the hour moves forward. Hopefully, we're telling you about Florida State taking the lead here in the very near future and getting that win. It would be a needed win as they continue to vie for, we hope, a top 8 national seed, give themselves the best chance to host throughout. We'll see. I think that's a fringe hope. I don't know that that's really going to happen. Bad news for Florida State on the football front. Offensive lineman Josh Ball, who has started quite a bit, is not going to be starting anytime soon. He's been suspended from FSU following a ruling by a university judicial panel. And, you know, he was expected, projected, if you will, to be an offensive starter again, offensive line starter in 2018. Now, this isn't a new story. Maybe some of you are hearing about it for the first time, but this has been bandied about, talked about for some time. But because no charges were ever officially filed against him, then you really didn't hear in-depth conversations. There was speculation and there were accusations that his girlfriend made against him that deal with violence, domestic violence, and to what extent those were accurate, real assertions or not, we didn't know because those charges were not filed. And given the fact that the Tallahassee Police and the State Attorney's Office did not press charges following a complaint, you know, you really couldn't be free to speculate on that, nor would we want to. So we haven't. But it certainly was in, I guess, the message board world, and it was a topic of conversation as it relates solely to football. Now, this is a much greater concern than football, of course. If he is, in fact, guilty of these things, if he did, as his girlfriend asserts, Sandra Sellers is her name, did assault her, physically attack her in any way, you don't want a guy like that around your team. You don't want a guy like that in your community. You don't want a guy like that in your locker room. You want that guy in jail if he did it. I don't know if he did or he didn't, so I will not continue to speculate on that. I will just tell you that the bottom line is this. He has been now told to have a good day by the university's, is that a student panel, I believe?
Yeah, it was a panel or a council.
Okay.
Certainly not a legal body, once again, worth noting, but it was a university commission panel.
So what happens now is the situation is such that he's not going to be here to play football in 2018. That's what that looks like. And, again, I am very well aware that there are more important things than football, so I'm not trying to be callous. But as it pertains to football and the sports talk show version of myself here and you, I'd say this is real bad news because he was going to start. And this is an area of grave concern on the offensive line. So I don't know. I'm kind of curious to see if that group is even moderately decent this year. Because if they are, I think Florida State can win 9 games and have a really good first season under Willie Taggart because I believe the long-term future is in good hands. And I believe that we're right to be very, very optimistic. I just, as it pertains to this season, think that is going to be the bugaboo for the first year.
There are a lot of things to consider when forecasting the offensive line. Number one being injuries and injury history for a lot of these players. Bavion Johnson being a good candidate to talk about as an example. It's just history does not suggest they can play any games in Bavion's case, but a full season, you know, that there's going to be some bumps and bruises. So you don't really like what you have from an attrition standpoint, especially now if somebody is pressed into duty, say week 4 or week 5, what does that even mean and what does that look like?
Yeah.
The little bit of evidence you do have was an injury-plagued offensive line that played all time in spring. You had, 6 or 7 players rotating, and one of them was a walk-on?
Yeah.
And that didn't look good. If quarterbacks were live, we would have walked out of that spring game feeling fundamentally different than we did about the offense and what we're capable of. But then at the same time, you have another camp. You'll have better bodies available to you in fall camp. And I don't know how this offense is going to operate in terms of what it asks of offensive linemen. So it's probably not fair to just declare them to be bad right now. But if you're going to forecast the opportunities and the chances are that we're not going to be very good at that position.
No, and I guess you'd say that, you have a redshirt sophomore in Juwan Williams. You have Mike Arnold as a guy that you would mention in this situation. I forgot Derek Kelly is still around.
Right, now he might be playing right tackle for you.
Playing right tackle for you now. So, it's not without options. It's just not – the depth certainly isn't going to be where you want it to be.
And then there's Eberle and Dickerson.
That's center, yeah.
Right, Eberle, Dickerson, and then Bavion. So those are probably the 6 principals you're working with unless a freshman comes in and wows you.
Knock on wood, buddy. You got to really hope you don't suffer injuries to that position, which so frequently does feature injuries. So that's my concern. It's the reason for my concern has been before Willie took the job. I mean, this was an area that we were constantly talking about as Seminole fans. This is the thing that has been infinitely frustrating, the inconsistencies. But you know what? If the guys he got back are healthy and in shape, which many would assert they weren't last year, when you're not in shape, I used the phrase, I think it was last week when we were talking about the problems with fitness level last year for this team, and that becoming something that I was unaware of. I did not understand to the extent that some allege this team was not physically fit, okay? I found that shocking, amongst many other things that we've learned this offseason. But you know as well as I do, and I said this, that fatigue makes cowards of us all. You cannot do what you need to be able to do from a technique standpoint and to execute if you're not physically in shape. You guys, we all know this. We all have experience with this. Go try to get in shape and realize you can't keep form. If you're out of shape, it's hard. The more tired you are. So we may see them play at a higher level, to your point, just by getting back in shape.
Right, and that's part of the system now is that there's going to be accountability in that regard. And then, also the confidence level of playing with a true freshman quarterback behind you and a true freshman tailback. And then the coaching staff infighting. You don't think offensive linemen are affected by all of these things?
Sure.
There's a lot of unknowns, but if you're just playing the percentages, it's not a good picture to paint. But there's a chance it may be better than we think.
No updates just yet. I'll give you more when we go to break. Before I do, of course, I did watch last night as Boston falls. We have a 2-2 series between Cleveland and Boston now. That's good news, at least in terms of a potential Game 7 lingering in the distance, because I think Boston wins Game 5 as they've won all of their home games in this postseason. I think Cleveland would then turn around and win Game 6. This feels easy to predict. And then we get us a barn burner for Game 7. Might be an all-time classic. Let's hope we could use some of them. The NBA could use some of them. You know what the NBA could use tonight is Houston to show up and play a game that gets this thing to 2-2, and all of a sudden, okay, even though the games themselves have been blowouts, if you give me 2 series that are 2-2, all right, I'm interested. Because now the potential for real surprise is there. I don't think it's going to happen. I think we know the winner of the East is going to lose to the winner of the West. I think especially if that winner of the West is indeed Golden State, which it's going to be. But give me some intrigue. Game 7s are fun, unless they're Game 7s like the one we're going to have tomorrow night with Tampa Bay and Washington for the right to go and compete for the Stanley Cup Championship, because it's awfully difficult when your team is involved in a Game 7. It's fun for everybody else. It is nerve-wracking for those of us with a team to support, root for, and cherish. I especially love the Lightning, not more than Tom. He grew up with them going to season ticket holder, excuse me. But I have a fondness in my heart for them beyond just that's my hometown team because of how nice they were to my son when he was sick. So he loves them too, and I find myself, because he gets up every morning and asks how they did, and so that you want to say, all right, well they did it, they're going because he keeps asking. I'm like,
yeah,
and yet you and I talk and we both kind of agree. I don't know, this feels a little dicey.
It does. If you haven't played better than your opponent for 6 games, even though the 7th game is at home, that's, well, you could still win Game 7, but it doesn't feel as good going into it.
Well, I actually think that game is going to be exactly as you and I think it's going to be, which is 2-2 in the 3rd. And we're going to be sitting there holding our breath.
Well, if you're looking for a team to be due, right? And the Lightning have superstars left and right in the game. They're just not as well known as Crosby or an Ovechkin. We haven't scored a goal in 99 minutes. I mean,
that's
that's
got off to such a great start there in Washington, got up 3-0, and then the next thing you know, you're holding on for dear life, winning 3-2. Last night, you can't score. You do hit the post. You had some opportunities there, but Washington carried the day for the most part, deserved to win the game last night, certainly more physical. And Washington's gotten smart. They've stayed out of the box. They know that they'll give up goals in the power play. Everybody has to Tampa Bay, so they can't find themselves in the box. I also thought they got the benefit of the calls last night, not sour grapes. It's what happens when you're at home sometimes late in the year. I got it, but if that's what we're going to play, which is big boy hockey, which is what happens when you get into the postseason, when you get to this level, they are apt to let them play. All right, well, then you're going to have to match that physicality. You're going to have to deliver as many hits as you get. They tried. They weren't on the same level. 39 hits in this game last night. It was very physical. I thought Washington played it the way they needed to. Tampa now, can you respond? It will be interesting. Hey, listen, I will say this. If you're going into a Game 7, no matter what you think about whose zone has controlled and where you've been and all that, we got the better goalie. So I like that.
That is true.
On a night where you got to have it, I like knowing going into this game you got the better goalie.
And he was exceptional last night again.
He has been. If you remove the first 2 games of the series, he's been remarkable. So, again, you got the guy. Now you got to match intensity. Let's go. Let's go. Still 2-2. Are we in the 7th?
Yeah, now the bottom of the 7th. So we passed the stretch, and we got 1 on, 1 out right now. Do the Knowles in the bottom of the 7th in a 2-2 game.
1 on, 1 out, 2-2. ACC tournament, game number 1, Florida State, Virginia. We'll give you an update when we get back. Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men on a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
Landowners, your Mahindra dealer is ready to help you save during Mahindra's Red Tag sale. Enjoy up to $7,900 in tractor cash back and savings, or utility vehicle savings up to $1,700. Plus, Mahindra's industry-leading warranties still come standard. So hurry in for Mahindra's Red Tag savings.
TNT. When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
Use promo code JCS20 and save 20%. That's promo code JCS20. You're saving 20% on your first order. That's easylaundry.net from Wash Around the Clock.
At Advance Auto Parts, we offer you the quality parts you want and knowledge you need to help get you back on the road. And we're always looking for ways to help you save. Right now, get CarQuest conventional motor oil for just $2.96 a quart. Talk about an amazing price. Plus, find great prices on CarQuest's full line of motor oil. Go to Advance or participating CarQuest Auto Parts stores to take advantage of this great offer while it lasts. Advance Auto Parts, where oil is priced like it should be.
Eat, sleep, fish. Mike's Marine Supply and Skeeter Boats want to get you out on the open water. They're your local Skeeter dealer, custom rigged with the Yamaha outboards. Stocked with a full line of Skeeter boats from the Bass to the Saltwater Bay Series, Skeeter has been recognized for 18 consecutive years as the leader in customer satisfaction for fiberglass outboard boats. Check in at Mike's Marine Supply for the spring specials starting soon. Located at 1296 Coastal Highway, Panacea, Florida, call Mike's Marine at 984-5637. Online at mikesmarinetallahassee.com.
And now, Jeff and Eddie wasting time when they're supposed to be recording a commercial.
What do you think about this team this weekend?
Crazy, huh? Really fast.
And they're good. Where do they come from?
Never thought about it.
Oh,
Never
my
thought
goodness.
about it.
But then that one guy does that thing.
I had
and,
2 people call about it. It's ridiculous.
It's the talk of the town.
Gordo's, bringing the flavor and flair of Cuban food to Tallahassee since 1996.
Hi, Chris Kraft for Kraft Nissan. Look around. That's right, you see Nissans everywhere. Tallahassee is officially a Nissan town, a Kraft Nissan town. Why? Because Kraft Nissan has the best pricing, the best selection, and the best buying experience in town. And at Kraft Nissan, you get the best value for your dollar. With more standard features, our exclusive and the original lifetime warranty, our easy choice menu that gives you a price and payment in writing, our new For You program that helps people with damaged credit. And now, till the end of the month, 2 years or 20,000 miles of complimentary maintenance with every new car purchase, plus $1,000 over book value for your trade. Best of all, my people are the best in the business. They will greet you with a smile and a handshake, and they will know your time is valuable. My managers are always accessible, and of course, you can always ask for me or my brother Peter. Bottom line, if you need a new or pre-owned car, you need to experience the Kraft difference. Great people, great product, great price, with the best car buying experience in town. Kraft Nissan on Mahan Drive between Academy Sports and Costco. And remember, if you don't see the Kraft tag on your car, you paid too much, way too much.
Widden Glass takes care of Tallahassee business. Local contractors know Widden Glass has been taking care of business since 1945. They prefer Widden Glass because of their precise window glass replacement, masterful shower enclosures, and storefront glass. Widden Glass will take care of you to your complete satisfaction. That's been Widden's way of doing business for over 70 years. When you call Widden Glass, you're dealing with experienced, reliable professionals who offer only the best. Like Widden's top-of-the-line bath enclosures that provide style and luxury at an affordable price. Eye-catching storefronts are a specialty at Widden Glass. We'll help you design it and install it. We've done hundreds of storefronts in the Tallahassee area. That's why Widden is known for taking care of business. Widden Glass, the first name in glass replacement. Call 222-5781.
This is the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
In the morning,
baby. Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN. At Jay Cameron Show, at _Tom Lang, do you guys think a new offensive line blocking scheme help the fact these guys won't have to hold blocks for long? Help the offensive line? Oh, along with the fact is what I think you were typing there. Will help the offensive line look better. Well, 2 things are going to help the offensive line look better. One, yes, getting the ball out of the quarterback's hands quickly is a recipe for success. Obviously, you don't have as many opportunities to see your quarterback be chalk outlined as he was each of the last 2 years. It didn't matter who was back there the last 2 years. We absolutely got our quarterbacks bludgeoned. And it wasn't always, I know, the offensive lineman's fault. We were starting young quarterbacks who held the ball for too long and wasn't ideal, but at the same time, it got to be absurd where routinely we saw our quarterback hit far more frequently than everybody else's in football, and that got old. It's a testament to the toughness of both Deondre Francois and James Blackman the last 2 years that aside from a flukish tackle in the second half of the game against Alabama, that these guys continued to get up. And it was that in terms of the real shots that they took, they got up every time. Now, they may have to visit the tent, but they got up, and they kept battling. And so when we talk about these quarterbacks, I take my fair share of shots at Deondre Francois for being a poor leader, for not accepting his role and responsibility as quarterback at Florida State and taking it seriously and doing the things necessary to engender the kind of support from teammates that you'd like to see a starting quarterback at a place like Florida State have. But I'd never question toughness, and I never question his want to. And by and large, I don't question his ability to be a good college quarterback. He's not a pro quarterback, but a good college quarterback he can be. And I think James Blackman proved the exact same thing last year, that you can't question toughness, and you can't question his commitment and his ability to fight through and deal with pain. I actually think he has a chance to be a good quarterback. We'll see what he is, but bottom line is getting the ball out of these quarterbacks' hands and into the hands of playmakers in spades is going to go a long way in helping this offensive line. Yes, but that said, at the end of the day, there are times you need to be able to line up and run the football and get tough yards. There are times you have to be capable of moving the line of scrimmage, getting tough yards, but also dictating terms, dictating your will. And you do that by running the football. You do that by being physical in the run game, and you do that in the red zone. And so I don't know that the change of scheme and spreading everybody out and throwing the football and playing up tempo and getting the ball out of your quarterback's hands will be enough to overcome the I guess, average level of play that we're going to get from this offensive line at best.
Well, I think the number one thing that is going to be interesting is what you just talked about last segment, which is strength and conditioning. And can you actually see tangible differences in play based upon the reports that come out for fall camp and how much better they are, height, weight, strength, all that type of stuff. And then the number two thing is, and I guess I'm skirting the issue about the blocking scheme, but I just kind of want to see it with my own eyes a little bit.
Well, yeah, we haven't seen it, and I don't even think we got a taste of it in that spring game. You know, I really feel like they were having fun in the spring game. That was not the kind of thing that you do when you're attempting to practice and implement and do all the. That was a lot of, hey, let's let the fans have some fun. Let's let these guys run around, make some plays, so we can showcase some athleticism and let everybody here enjoy themselves for a night.
But I'm interested to see how they scheme up the lead back, the blocking back, be it an H-back, tight end, or second tailback. How does that look? Because when you do need to get a yard in that system, if you're going to have receivers on the field spreading at least two defenders out, then the H-back becomes all the more important in sealing off whatever they need to, be it the backside of the play or in the hole to create some space for you. If you think about it, the Oklahomas of the world or Auburn when we faced in the national title, that player was integral to a scheme that spreads you out wide and then plays quick. So who is that player going to be for us? Is it another tailback? Is it Cam for Kalen, and then for when Cam is carrying the ball, is it going to be
Patrick?
It could be Patrick, I suppose.
Yeah,
it could be Vickers.
It's a big man.
It could be McKitty. I wonder who that player is going to be for us, and how does that blend with the scheme, because that's a big part of it, especially when you're talking about short yardage.
Well, we're going to learn. We have as a fan base, we have a learning curve this year. We can certainly take elements of what Willie's done at other stops along the way. We can see offenses that are considered to be very similar or of the same philosophy, but until you see it done with your personnel and you watch situations play out in certain ways and you find out their preferences, how they call a game, how they react to schematic change from the defense. That's the learning curve we're going to go on. And that's also why, by the way, there's such a level of enthusiasm and excitement, because it's a little bit of the unknown and everybody wants to see something new, especially when the old last year wasn't working and you were in one-possession games, low-scoring one-possession games against the likes of Duke and Wake.
One of the talking points when Jimbo left is, well, there goes the fullback, and I will miss the traditional Thunder Freddie Stevenson or, Lonnie Pryor or
my man.
Who was his name escapes me. Chad Abrams?
Yeah, Abrams, yeah.
Chad Abrams, yeah. And he
scored a touchdown in the national championship game.
Yeah, that was a nice pass from Winston, by the way. That's a tough pass to
deliver. Good catch
deliver.
for a fat fullback to make, too.
Well, he had great hands, though.
He did. He almost didn't catch that, though. So a little bit of a bobble. He gathers himself, hops over the defender, and makes the play, yeah.
But just because we're in this new scheme doesn't mean you don't have a player that does things like that player. They may call Vickers a tight end, or they may reclassify some of our fullbacks to tight ends, but there are still blocking backs. It's just they're not lined up directly in front of the tailback.
And if Willie has his way, we will be very physical. We'll be physical in the run game. We'll be physical in everything that we do. This scheme doesn't necessarily scream physicality, but it's not devoid of it either. And actually, when it's at its best, you are very physical. You are capable of doing all the same things, just it's a different looking formation. It's a different pace. It's all of those things. Splits are different too, but, you can be very, very physical. They're not it's not a finesse offense per se. It doesn't have to be. I think he wants to be able to do like what most coaches want to be able to do. They want a little bit of everything, but they have an identity. They have a methodology that differs from Jimbo's, certainly in this case, but it's still going to have all those other elements that good football teams have. That Auburn team was very physical despite running the system that they did.
Whew. Yes, they were.
Yeah. Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
Landowners, your Mahindra dealer is ready to help you save during Mahindra's Red Tag Sale. Enjoy up to $7,900 in tractor cash back and savings, or utility vehicle savings up to $1,700. Plus, Mahindra's industry-leading warranties still come standard. So hurry in for Mahindra's Red Tag Savings.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
Facebook and give them a call at 765-0598. Are you ready to experience an awesome fishing expedition? Sea Quarters Marina is home to several great charter services. All charters are customized based upon the types of fishing opportunities available and the type of fishing the customer requests. The Northwest Gulf Coast offers a variety of different angling adventures thanks to unspoiled back county islands and crystal clear flats. For more information regarding charters, call Sea Quarters Marina at 697-8400 or online at seaquartersmarina.com.
This Day in Sports brought to you by Superlube. Superlube, 19 Tallahassee area locations. Quick, convenient, no appointment necessary.
This Day in Sports History. May 22nd, 2003. Annika Sorenstam became the first woman since Babe Didrikson 58 years earlier to play in a PGA tournament when she teed off at the Bank of America Colonial in Fort Worth, Texas. Only Vijay Singh refused to play in protest. Sorenstam shot 1 over par in the first round and 4 over in the second, missing the cut.
Is your car's AC keeping you cool? With Tallahassee's summer season here to stay, stop in now to any auto and tire super service center and take advantage of their $69 AC recharge special. That's right. Visit any auto and tire super service center and recharge your car's AC for just $69, keeping you and your family cool all summer long. Visit any of their 5 auto and tire super service centers, locally owned and operated for nearly 40 years.
I'm Michael Blank, an attorney with the Personal Injury Law Office of Jose R. Fernandez. If you get into an accident, call 1-855-JOSE-305. That's 1-855-JOSE-305. We don't get paid until you do. Se habla español. Offices Tallahassee and Miami.
You know what? It's time you level up your lemon lime with new, clear, refreshing Mountain Dew Ice. Why settle for this when you could have this? You want a fist bump that ends in one of those fake explosions?
Hey, Charles.
Or a fist bump that ends in an actual explosion?
Hey, Charles.
Want to pull up to the party on this? Or arrive in this? Make this musical request? Or this one? So yeah, you can keep drinking the same old, but we think you'll like the exploding fist bump, showing up to the party properly way to lemon lime, right? Mountain Dew Ice. Clear, refreshing lemon lime, redefined.
An eager young FSU marketing major came into Poor Paul's the other day and told me what a genius he thought I was for having such great specials, like the free ladies' drinks on Tuesday nights, the free Gumby's Pizza and $4.95 pitchers on Sunday and Monday night, and the cheapest prices in town every other night. And not to mention, all the free beer people wouldn't spin in the Wheel of Fortune. He asked me if I'd studied marketing, and I told him I had, but what I didn't tell the poor guy was that in 4 years, I didn't learn a damn thing in any of my classes. Most of my business philosophy came from observing a girl named Bunny who lived across from me and was, let's say, working her way through school. You see, Bunny had a great service, sold it at rock-bottom prices with a smile, and had hundreds of happy customers. And aside from that little red light in her window, all her advertising was simply word of mouth. So I didn't see the need for all those charts and graphs and formulas. I knew all I needed to be successful were the Bunny marketing methods. Sell really good stuff, cheap, with a smile. And that's why, just like at Bunny's, there's always a big crowd at Poor Paul's wanting to spend their money. And that's why that poor kid thought I was so smart. Who's your buddy?
Don't just listen to The Jeff Cameron Show. Watch it live. The Jeff Cameron Show Streamcast. Live weekdays 3 to 6 p.m. Head to ESPNTallahassee.com today to watch live or catch up on demand. The Jeff Cameron Show Streamcast. Brought to you by Nice Tire and Auto, your trusted Goodyear dealer.
Nice Tire and Auto, just minutes away from FSU campus.
It's time to get your chop on as our Atlanta Braves continue to roll through the big NL East battles and into the summer.
The 3-2 pitch, here it comes, and there it goes. It's fair, it's long, it's in the chop house.
Atlanta Braves baseball on 97.9 ESPN Radio is brought to you in part by Fonville, Lewis, Messer, and McConaughey, and by Metro Deli in downtown Tallahassee. Head to ESPNTallahassee.com/Braves. Live from the AmeriGas Propane Studios in the capital city of Tallahassee, this is the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Positive news, negative news. What do we got, big man?
Well, we're still on the fence kind of news here. So Austin Pollock's day is done. Virginia had loaded the bases in the top of the 8th with 1 out. The third base runner was a plunk by Mr. Pollock on the elbow. So 11 said enough is enough. And Kwiatkowski came in. He promptly struck out the first batter he faced. So now it's bases loaded, 2 outs, and you have a lefty-lefty matchup at the dish, but we shall see. Top of the 8th, Knowles and Cavs, 2-2.
Tight wire act. Did you know, and we failed to properly note this at the time that it happened, and I feel bad about that. I feel like it was a terrible oversight because I know a year ago we did document this, and it actually, for whatever reason, even though it seemed counterintuitive, it did seem to speed things up. The 100 days until the start of college football date has come and gone. We're under 100 days until the start of college football, sir. We are 94 days away from the start of college football.
It's always better when it happens on you like that, though. You're not counting the days.
It's finding $20 in your pocket or something. Hey. But, I mean, we'll get over the long weekend that's forthcoming, and the next thing you know, we're going to be like, geez, we're well into just 80-something days.
Well, we're almost out of May.
We play that game, buddy. We play that game. But I don't know how it happened. I stumbled across an article that I thought was going to be depressing, and it helped remind me that I had overlooked the fact that we were less than 100 days away. The article was 100 days of conversation about college football, and I went, well, are they doing that because we have 100 days? We're less than 100 days? Oh! It's update time for that ass. And the Noles get out of it and go to the bottom of the 8th with the score still tied 2-2. One hopes.
That is correct. Back-to-back strikeouts for Kwiatkowski with the bases loaded and 1 out. And the Noles
my man.
Life anew.
Bottom of the 8th of a 2-2 ball game. Noles looking to get the go-ahead run late here and move on in the ACC tournament. Up 1-0, if you will, at least against the loss column in a round-robin sort of deal. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to get a new pillow and sleep comfortably. Why won't you do that? Why haven't you done that? Haven't my pleas been heard? Haven't they been? I don't know. I think uplifting enough for you to say, you know, he's right. Why am I living my life with these pillows that are simply not comfortable when I could get a MyPillow? Especially, Cameron's given me a code to save money on MyPillow. Free shipping and everything. So if you're thinking about it, if you're on the fence, I'll tell you that, again, I slept last night so comfortably on MyPillow. What a great pillow. It's my pillow. Could be your pillow. Click on the 2-pack special, enter the promo code 979ESPN. MyPillow comes with a 60-day money-back guarantee. Try it and you don't like it, that's okay. They say that's all right. Just send it back. We're going to give you your money back. Don't worry about it. It also comes with a 10-year warranty. That's pretty cool. Not too many things have a 10-year warranty. This pillow here, rock solid. But I don't mean solid as in uncomfortable.
My pillow's on fire. What happened here? Don't worry, it's under warranty.
It's under warranty. Don't worry about your pillow. My pillow is also machine washable and dryable, and it's made right here in the good old US of A. Click on the 2-pack special, enter the promo code 979ESPN. You'll get 2 MyPillow premium pillows for one low price plus free shipping. Go to MyPillow.com. Again, click on the 2-pack special, enter the promo code 979ESPN, or call 800-944-6596. That's 800-944-6596. Whatever you do, be sure you use the promo code 979ESPN. Trying to save you money. Plus, they say, looks like Cameron sold us another pillow. We should do some more advertising with them and keep ESPN Radio in Tallahassee on the air.
Does it really hinge on the deal?
No, It doesn't. We're doing really well. But it certainly doesn't hurt, Tom.
That's true.
It doesn't hurt.
Better to have and not need,
there
sir.
There we go. Well done. I was waiting on it. I was like, has young Tom learned that my phrase over the years, it's better to have and not need than need not have, is 100% accurate?
It's a mini update for that derriere, and that's that we're into the UVA bullpen finally. Daniel Lynch, who was throwing 94, 95 miles an hour,
has thrown 156 pitches, and they finally pulled him.
He was closing in on $125, and they said that's that. And so now the Noles are at least into the UVA bullpen, and this guy with major league stuff can sit down for the rest of the day.
So that article that I was referencing went through the questions of the off season, right? And I have already had to have this conversation in my SiriusXM duties, where we did ESPNU on Saturdays. I've done that show from 9 to noon the last few weeks. I think I'm doing it again this weekend. But I have to confess, even though it's really annoying for us for all the years that this became the topic, even though there wasn't something for them to really latch on to. And I'm talking about the station we work for in ESPN. But the SEC does intrigue me more this year than any other time in recent memory because of the 6 new coaches. So that is intriguing to me to see who gets off to a good start, obviously. But I think that's the topic of the offseason in general, which is, new coaches. So you have, in the state of Florida alone, obviously Dan Mullen, Willie Taggart replacing Jimbo Fisher at Florida State, Dan Mullen taking over for Jim McElwain, Josh Heupel coming in to replace Scott Frost at UCF. The Florida coaches, if you will, Mark Richt, who's gotten off to such a good start, that's a big, big topic as well, and I think it's an interesting one and fair.
It is, but to me, I think as far as the SEC goes, the intrigue, and I agree with you, is the Tier 2 discussion, both in the West and the East. So we know Alabama and Georgia are the prohibitive favorites to go back to Atlanta and play for the SEC title. Well, at least Alabama would be playing Georgia for the first time under Kirby Smart. But who is it going to be in that second tier? Is it Auburn, A&M, Mississippi State in the West, and in the East, South Carolina, Tennessee, and I guess Florida is in that discussion as well. But it's just who is going to assert themselves as kind of trending upward. So it's not just about Alabama carrying the day, but if you're talking about top 10, top 20 teams, yeah, the SEC might produce a couple more. And I didn't even mention LSU in the West. And how weird is that? It used to be Alabama, LSU, and that was it. But now you've got a host of teams that can make that division pretty interesting. It won't be the best division ever assembled like back in 2014, but it'll be pretty interesting.
It will be. And the question then is, who becomes the next FBS head coach to win a national championship? There are only Texas A&M's Jimbo Fisher, Clemson's Dabo Swinney, Urban Meyer, 3, and I mentioned Jimbo, of course. Who's next on the list, active coaches, that's going to win a national championship?
Outside of Saban?
It's Kirby Smart, right, is the answer.
Probably.
Kirby Smart, I would think, is likely the answer. Would you say, and this is why I brought it up, that Willie Taggart would be next in line? Ooh. Ahead of Chris Peterson, ahead of Mark Richt.
What about out in Oklahoma? I know Baker's not there anymore. I always want to call him Landry Jones, and I don't know why.
Baker Mayfield, you want to call Landry Jones?
No, I want to call their coach Landry Jones, and I don't understand why I want to call Lincoln Riley Landry Jones, but yeah.
That's funny because as soon as you said it, I went, well, his last name's Riley, but it is Landry. No, it's not Landry Riley.
Right.
It's Lincoln
Yeah.
Riley. You got me, you took me off the cart
Sorry.
there. Yeah.
So, I mean, I would maybe put him in that conversation. Looks like Oklahoma is at least they're not going through a lull in the coaching change. They handed that thing off in mid-flight.
Okay. Well, I think if odds makers were doing this, you'd be right. But they're not. So I'm telling you it's Willie Taggart.
Well, the odds makers would set it a certain way, but then Michigan would bet it to where Jim Harbaugh is the prohibitive favorite to be next.
I wonder if Jim Harbaugh in Michigan can avoid losing 4 games this year. There's a question for the offseason, right? That's something to behold there. Can Jim Harbaugh in Michigan take a step forward, a realistic step forward, something that they haven't been doing, but something that certainly I would think their fans are desperate to see at this point because 3 loss, 5 loss will hurt your feelings.
Do you want W's and L's for Michigan?
I do. I want W's and L's for Michigan. Fire it up.
L's.
Wins.
All right. How you doing?
Losses.
Damn it! We lost. We f***ing super lost, man.
Where do we triumph? Where doth thou fall? Well, all right. Let's see. Michigan football. And you know, by the way, every time we do this, I laugh because this is the prime time to be doing W's and L's.
Yeah, absolutely. It's magazine season, right?
And I think magazine season actually begins right after Memorial Day, right?
Well, Athlon did come out with their top 25, and Athlon has one of those. We talk about them in the preseason and never again. You notice that about Athlon Sports? Because they do their preseason top 25, but then they get the coaches to talk about each other. You know, they will keep them off the record or at least unnamed sources, and you could get the scouting reports.
Which
on
I
all
actually
of your teams.
enjoy that.
Right.
It's one of my favorite features. Those magazines belong to the ages because no longer is the process the same as I used to describe it. It is it has been bastardized in a way that I don't like. I loved the process, as I called it. It was coffee. It was magazines. It was a lazy Sunday with rain pouring down outside and nowhere to be, nobody bothering you, and a whole lot of catching up, followed by a Monday of projections, right? We did that. That's how it played out. It doesn't play out that way anymore.
Well, you can run to the local bookstore here, Northside, and bring a Kindle or an iPad and then just go.
Well, the magazines still come out. I could do that. I could go sit in the corner and do that. I still like the tangible.
Yeah, me too.
I still like to hold the magazine. I like to,
When I go home to Palm Harbor, my folks get the Sunday paper.
Yeah, and you read it cover to cover.
Well, yeah, and then you get into the crosswords or the jumbles and stuff.
Fun.
Oh, yeah.
All right, Michigan and Notre Dame. I'm taking Notre Dame 0-1.
Okay, agree.
They bounce back with a big win over Western Michigan. They're 1-1. Then they beat SMU 2-1. Ooh, Scott Frost bringing Nebraska to the big house. Week 4, huh?
It's in the big house, though, right?
Michigan wins 3-1.
Yep.
On the road at Northwestern, 4-1. Maryland rolls into town 5-1.
Well, maybe that Northwestern body clock. You know what I'm saying? What happened to Stanford?
Wisconsin comes to Michigan. Ooh, what do we got here? Give me Michigan.
I'll take Wisconsin. It's a regular season game, so Wisconsin probably is going to win that one.
I got him at 6-1. You've got him now with 2 losses.
That's correct.
Michigan at Michigan State. 7-1.
I think they're going to. Who does Michigan State have this year? I don't know anything about Michigan State.
Well, you got some reading to do. This is why it's completely random.
Until October, but then they're either really good or you don't think about them at all. That's the way that works with Michigan State.
But I do love to look up at the magnet on the big board that I brought back from East Lansing after a good day in East Lansing. I gave them a win there. I've got Michigan starting 7-1. Then Penn State will come into the big house and beat them. So that's their second loss. Then they'll beat Rutgers. They'll beat Indiana. Then they'll lose to Ohio State. It's a 3-loss campaign for Michigan.
So set the number at 8.5. right? For the win
Well,
total.
set the over-under on wins and losses at 3.5. You're going to go over or under? I'm going under.
On losses, they'll lose to somebody unexpectedly, and it might be the Wisconsin game that I was talking about. So I think 8-4 is probably the number.
All right, so I'm going 9-3. You're going 8-4. We'll have to put it down. Bold endeavor.
We should have just an index
of all the W's and L's that we've done. Well,
yeah.
we can go back and check the tape. I'm certainly fine with that. Is there an update before we take it to break one last time and come back with probables? What do we got? Anything? It's update time for that ass. Well, good Lord, that baseball game is doing a whole lot of nothing.
Yeah, top of the ninth now. There is either a hit by pitch or a walk. So Virginia has a runner on first with 1 out, 2-2 ball game. Kwiatkowski still pitching. A deep fly to center was the first out of the inning. A deep fly to center.
Top of the ninth.
1
out. Runner at first for Virginia. 2-2. Maybe that game ends while we're still on the air. We'll be able to give you that update. We'll be back. Wrap it up momentarily. Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
Landowners, your Mahindra dealer is ready to help you save during Mahindra's Red Tag Sale. Enjoy up to $7,900 in tractor cash back and savings, or utility vehicle savings up to $1,700. Plus, Mahindra's industry-leading warranties still come standard. So hurry in for Mahindra's Red Tag Savings.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Blountstown Highway, 574-4100.
Games for Less, the only locally owned and operated gaming store in town, has Tallahassee's largest selection of new and used video games and game systems. The future of video gaming is at Games for Less, where they have both the PS4 and Xbox One. It's time to trade in your old systems and elevate your gaming experience now. Games for Less is also your headquarters for the best in retro gaming. Atari 2600, original Nintendo, Super NES, or Sega Genesis, you name it. They got it at Games for Less. Games for Less, the Super Walmart Shopping Center on Appalachia Parkway. Give them a call today at 850-219-3535. That's Games for Less.
And now Jeff and Eddie wasting time when they're supposed to be recording a commercial.
What were we drinking? It was tall. I just remember there was a lot of it.
And it was cold, and it was
so hot outside.
Man.
It was crazy.
I couldn't even breathe.
Truck. Then the truck came up with the dude.
Oh, that guy.
Food was good.
Yeah, the food's always good.
Gordo's, bringing the flavor and flair of Cuban food to Tallahassee since 1996.
With a loaded roster of young stars, the Braves are going to have a fun summer with some huge National League battles.
Hit high and deep to right field. Did he get it? I guess he got it. Way out of here to right center field with room to spare.
Atlanta Braves baseball on 97.9 ESPN Radio is brought to you in part by AmeriGas Propane of Tallahassee, Bagel Market Bistro, and by Early Trucking Company in Arlington, Georgia.
You know what? It's time you level up your lemon lime with new, clear, refreshing Mountain Dew Ice. Why settle for this when you could have this? You want a fist bump that ends in one of those fake explosions?
Hey, Charles.
Or a fist bump that ends in an actual explosion?
Hey, Charles.
Want to pull up to the party on this? Or arrive in this? Make this musical request? Or this one? So yeah, you can keep drinking the same old, but we think you'll like the exploding fist bump, showing up to the party properly way to lemon lime, right? Mountain Dew Ice. Clear, refreshing lemon lime. redefined.
Want to trick your truck for free? Mountain Dew and Dollar General announce Trick Your Truck. Your shot at winning up to $10,000 to trick your truck. Get your free Do Life sticker at any Tallahassee area Dollar General and put it on your ride. Spotters are looking for Do Life stickers now.
You're locked in with the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Someday time for that ass. So it got a little dicey there in the ninth inning with Virginia able to hit a deep fly ball to start the ninth. That ball was caught. That was one out. Next batter up was Bean. Batter after that was walked. Runner at first and second. Nobody up in the pen, revealing that Mike Martin has no faith in that bullpen. However, Gutowski got the ground ball that was necessary, a double play, and the Noles get out of the ninth. We head to the bottom of the ninth with a chance to walk it off in Durham and win game one.
I believe that was a 4-6-3 twin killing.
It was.
I was trying to be the Braves pregame guy. Ingram, have you heard his voice?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
my God. It was like he was born a baseball announcer. And if you look him up on Twitter, he looks younger than you'd think. He sounds like he's about 65, 70 years old.
Well, the Braves have always had kind of classic baseball announcers. Like the voices are very baseball announcer-y, even unique in that way, right?
Our engineer is a big Braves fan. And so when he was putting this in, he was telling me, because he has them on, I think, 11 or 12 of the stations he services throughout this area. And he said that dude has been with the team for so long, he was certain that he would just jet for a play-by-play gig, but I guess he's waiting. He just decided he likes Atlanta. I don't know how he's still there, because he's perfect for play-by-play. What's he doing?
He's
doing pre and post
for dear life, yeah.
Because he wants to be the Braves play-by-play
he
guy.
He loves him some Atlanta Braves. Well, all right, good on you, buddy.
Front row Knowles with Tom Block on tomorrow.
Yes, I look forward to that, by the way. Also from our man Tim Linnefeld with opportunities to weigh in. I always wait for that. Way to go, Tim.
Mm-hmm.
I do. I wonder who their guest is going to be. Do you know?
I don't know.
Have you called ahead?
But I do know that KJ's got a surprise cooked up tomorrow.
For me or for you?
No.
For Tom?
No.
Just in general?
In general, for somebody who will be appearing on the show.
A surprise?
A surprise, yep.
Well, you have just teased the hell out of this wonderfully.
There it is.
Yeah.
Tomorrow, 6 p.m.
All right. Look forward to it. Probable, sir. Fire it up.
It's time for, how you say, with the pitching, probables?
Phillies told the Braves to go to hell last night. Shut them out 3-0. Get you some, Atlanta. See if the Braves bounce back. Brandon McCarthy will pitch for Atlanta. The Philadelphia Phillies will throw Vince Velasquez and say, we're looking to shut you out 2 nights in a row. I just did that to be a jerk. Cleveland at Chicago. Former World Series matchup there. That's Indians-Cubs. Trevor Bauer, Tyler Chatwood. San Diego Padres, Washington Nationals, Eric Lauer, Jeremy Hellickson. A resurgent Jeremy Hellickson. Carried a perfect game into the 7th inning. Yeah, Hellickson's been doing some things. Angels, Blue Jays, Garrett Richards, and J.A. Happ. I will not bet on you, Garrett Richards. You've cost me too many times. Big Daddy says no. Red Sox, Rays, Chris Sale, Jake Faria goes for the Rays. That's a mismatch, everybody. Sale, Faria. Marlins, Mets, Caleb Smith, and Tom's favorite, Zach Wheeler, going for the Mets.
Good thing we got the win last night. You see the final out of the Marlins-Mets game last night? Of course you didn't.
I did not, no.
Well, it's a ground ball deep in the hole to short, and the Marlins runner is out at first base by 1/8 of an inch because he slid head first into first base.
Like a dumbass.
Yes.
Like a dumbass.
Would have been safe by 1.5 steps if he just decided to run.
Dummy. Pirates, Reds, Jameson Taillon. Fatty, fat mirror boy, Matt Harvey. Going for the Reds. He's actually been pitching well for the Reds. D-backs, Brewers. Matt Koch. Some call him Koch. I did that for you.
I forgot about that.
Yeah. Chacin. Jules doesn't get the first name attention that he deserves. Yankees, Rangers. Domingo Germán. Cole Hamels. Yankees hit 5 home runs last night. 4 straight games of 4 home runs or more. What a feel-good story, man. Those little underdogs that could. Orioles, White Sox. We got Kevin Gausman and James Shields going for the White Sox. Boy, that's a battle. That's a suck fest right there, huh? Tigers, Twins, Matthew Boyd, Lance Lynn. Giants, Astros, Andrew Suarez versus Garrett Cole. He'll make the start in the opener of a 2-game interleague series against the Giants. Cole is coming off a shaky outing against the Angels. Yeah. He threw a season-low 5 innings, gave up 3 runs on 5 hits, including 2 giant dongs. Royals, Cardinals, Jason Hamill, Luke Weaver, Florida State's own. Amid rumors that his rotation spot is in jeopardy, Weaver turned in his best start of the season his last time out. Needs to keep it up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Keep it going,
2
Luke.
fingers to my eyes, 2 fingers back to Luke right now, say the St. Louis Cardinals. Seattle Mariners, Oakland A's. That's Mike Leake, Trevor Cahill. We got Rockies and Dodgers tonight. Rockies are actually much, much better on the road than they are at home. Chad Bettis beat us. Brock Stewart, whoever the hell Brock Stewart is pitching tonight for the Dodgers. Brock! Getting plus money on the Rockies on the road. Just saying, says Big Daddy J. Just saying. Who wins tonight? Golden State, putting Houston out of their misery and any belief that they have a chance in this series, or Houston rises up and makes it a series after all?
Golden State by under 15 points.
Well, the number's 9.
Yeah, I'd say that's
You're going over.
Yeah.
Final update for that ass. Knowles, Cavaliers, bottom of the 9th. What say you? It's update time for that ass.
Nothing doing.
Nothing doing. We're going to extras?
Probably. 2 on, nobody out for the Knowles in the bottom of the 9th.
Here comes a walk-off. Good work out of you, Tom. Good work out of you, Matthew. Be well, everybody. Have a great night. We'll talk to you tomorrow.